Why are we trying to reconnect? I don't understand. Why are we reconnecting? We shouldn't be reconnecting, not? Okay. Yeah, I don't understand that to the camera. Well, we've got one that time after that. Maybe not.
Was rich, I remember who I was. I was lost, I was blind, I was running out of time.
What's happening, Velma? Mark, how are you? Let's listen to this song for a minute.
The breach was far too wide. But from the far side of the chasm, you held me in your sight. So you made a way across the great divide. Left behind heaven's throne
To build it here inside. Oh God, what did we do?
heaven's throne to build it here inside.
Good night, everyone. Good night. Hey, Mario, you feeling, baby? Feeling good?
You paid the debt I owe. Broke my chains.
I want to join. Are you hearing the song? Tell me if you're not hearing the song. You know me not good at this, right? I am good, baby. I'm good, Mario. How are you? I am playing this song for Philip Powell. Can somebody please tag him? And if you understand that while the devil is defeated, he's still roaming and looking for ways and means. Brought me from the darkness into your glorious light. Good night, Yvonne. Are you hearing the music? Let me know if you're hearing the music. You took my place, Lord, and laid inside my tomb of sin. Thank you, good. I'm glad to hear that, man. Glad to hear your feeling. Hey, Jim. Good evening, my brother. Let's listen to the song. Let's listen to the song. This song is really for all Jamaicans, all who watching, but especially for coming to the parliament. Tag him for me, Mary, and tell him to get down on his knees and sing this song. Thank you, Jesus, for the blood applied. Thank you, Jesus. You wash me white. Thank you, Julius, but God got me. Thank you, Jesus, you saved my life. Wanna sing, the man? Brought me from the darkness. Oh, your son is close to me? Well, tell him to come and link me so I can get to me. There's nothing stronger than the wonder-working power of the blood. Nothing stronger. The blood. We are called sons and daughters, Lord, but we are ransomed by our Father. Through the blood. Through the blood. Let me hear everybody singing now. There's nothing stronger than the wonder-working power of the blood. We're not having no big prayer tonight. We just want to make sure that everybody on here to know that the wonder-working power of God is through the blood of His Son, Jesus Christ. Through the blood. Through the blood. Me hear you all now. Thank you, Jesus, for the blood applied. We're not hearing properly. How is that? How is that? Is that better? Are you hearing any better? Sahai? Sahai, are you hearing any better? I don't want to hear it. Tell me you're hearing better, Sahai. I want to make sure everybody hearing the song. Good night, Dean. Are you all hearing the song? Are you hearing this properly? Hi, Ruth. Good night. Michelle, I'll soon bring you on. But I want to make everybody hearing the music. Michelle, can you please copyright this thing for me? Please. I'm going to try to see if I can fix it better for you, Sahai. Just need something to put it on. Thank you, Jesus. How is that now, Sahai? Is that better? You're hearing it fine. All right, great. I'm hearing it fine too, but I want all of you to hear it. I don't only want you to hear it. That's why it also sing. Somebody text Tag Philip Caldwell for me now. I'm about to play a song for him, and I don't want him to miss it. Hey Sharon, how you doing? Well, text Philip Caldwell for me now, please. Link him up and tag him with this song. Jacqueline, what on Sharon? Thank you, darling. You're very clear. I go. I know a man who can. If you know the song, sing it. Come on, let me sing the man. I hear anybody. Make it over again. Good to hear, good to hear. You're back on our fear, I am. And I can take a soul that's sincere, make it over. Feel the light. Tag Philip Caldwell. Let him know that this is for him. And some call him Savior, the Redeemer. Tell everybody this is possible. The last line for the year. Possible. Call him Jesus, for he's my dearest friend. When you feel no one can. Yes, I love it too, Jacqueline. I love it too as well. And the Tag Philip Caldwell, I'll tell him that the devil is still on the loose. And you can listen to the song. Yeah, we know man who can. There are a lot of things to talk about today, but let the song finish play first. Good night, Nikki. How are you doing, darling? And then we're going to bring down Jesus out of the... Sorry. I just I'm going to find a song that I really like to find. Alright, that's it. Everybody alright? We're going to stop soon and let me find the songs I want to find. I love you, Lord. There it is. Alright. Shit. It's gone again. There we go. Hold on and know this. So sing. Sing. I love you, Lord. I don't hear you.
For your mercy never fails.
Princess, I want to hear you. Princess, Sharon, Nikki, I don't hear you singing.
I've been held in your hand.
Alright, let me over the penny section now.
From the moment that I wake.
Oh, that needs some more. That needs some more.
Till I lay my head.
I wish.
Oh, I will sing
Of the goodness of God. Philip Paul will we have you on our lips in our hearts today. That's your song, Marie. Am that right? Share the cover, Paul. At the end of the song, we're going to pause for 1 minute and a half. And then ask everybody to say a prayer. Doesn't matter what you want to pray. You can pray for yourself, you can pray for your family, you can pray for Jamaica, you can pray for the Prime Minister, you can pray for the leader of the opposition. Just say a prayer, any prayer. But let that prayer be a prayer of thanks. A prayer of thanks. We need prayer of thanks for Jamaica, prayer of thanks that we live here. You know, and not down in the Gaza Strip. I have lived in the goodness of the God. Yeah. Maybe you singing? You say you have good voice now. You sing, you know, sing. You all sound great. You all sound great. Sing of the goodness of God.
Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Your goodness is running after, it's
I'm gonna let you know.
running
Master,
after
I tell you that boy big and bright man social media. I'm gonna let you.
I surrender.
And I announce it for social media, so I'm gonna let you. Master office.
Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. Oh yeah, your goodness is running after me. Yes it is. With my life laid down, I surrender now. I give you everything. Your goodness is running after, it's running after me. All of my life, you have been faithful.
Good to see you all. Good to see you all.
You've been faithful.
Happy, Nikki? I don't know if it's happy. I'm happy, but I always find my happy place. Happiness is overrated. It is, but I'm feeling good. That's what you need. Hey, Richard, resistance leaders are in the place, man. I see Mary, I see Richie, I see Sharon, I see Richard McFarlane, Sharon Woodstock, I see Marcia Otten, I see Nicky Gardner, I see Ruth Bailey. I see all of these resistance leaders are up and running. I see Princess. Princess, I may have nothing but that to do, please. Alright, comrades, let us pause for just for a minute and a half, and you people who like to pray a long prayer, no matter what tonight. Let us pause for a minute and a half and ask everybody that's watching this live to just say a prayer. Don't matter what the prayer is, don't matter what kind of prayer you're praying, don't matter who you're praying for. Pray for your family, pray for your friends, pray for Jamaica, pray for your Prime Minister, pray for the leader of the opposition, pray for our leaders, pray for the bad man them, pray for everybody. Just say a prayer for a minute and a half, please. All right. I'm done praying. Phone look kind of dark, you know. Everybody done pray? I tell them people who like to pray long, I tell them about it, you know. All right, good night, everyone. Thank you all for joining me tonight. This is a long-awaited live. This live has been in the making for months, but it takes a whole heap of effort to get it going. And finally, we are ready, and I have a folder, and I don't know, it's a massive amount of information that we have to share with you, and we're hoping that you will, listen to what we have to say. But before I get into the live, and Mr. Golden and his whatever, we're going to be talking about a number. I just want to touch on some small things tonight, which are not so small. First and foremost, I want to you join me, all of you could join me, and say hello to Comrade Philip Paulwell. Saw him in Parliament. We saw him out in his constituency with his people, and he has lost all that weight that he has been trying to lose from Wapikill Philip. He has lost it. Now he needs to just keep it off. We want to say to Paulwell that the devil is still roaming, because Paul Christopher Burke is still out in East Kingston, still trying to one-up man Philip Paulwell, still trying to control something, still trying to behave like somebody elect him to something. But Philip Paulwell is holding his own. But most importantly, the people of East Kingston are holding their own. The leaders in East Kingston and Port Royal are holding their own. So if Philip Paulwell, even though feel up to fighting it right now, him have people fighting for him. It's very heartening to see that the people of East Kingston and Port Royal is out defending their member of parliament. And with that, they are hosting an event for him on the 25th of November. I hope I have that right. I hope everybody know. I saw the thing, Stephanie Stennett, if you're watching, I saw the thing on your what do you call it? Your status, whatever you call it. And it's the 25th of November. I think it's at the constituency office. All of Region 3, as many people as possible, should turn up and show some love to Comrade Philip Paulwell. Because trust me, Comrade Paulwell, the devil is defeated, but him still on the prowl. Him still on the prowl. Him not let up. Him not let go. Him still a try to knock you down. So I want you to know that, Comrade Philip Paulwell, that the devil is on the prowl. And you, my friend and comrade, should make sure that you are up and about and knowing that you're not letting your guard down, because them still out to get you. So I just want to say that. We see that Mark Golden is on his 22nd tour, going into the year 3 of his reign, still introducing himself to Jamaica. What can I say but to wish him luck on that 22nd tour to continue to introduce himself to the Jamaican people. Some the leaders of the resistance put a meme in the resistance war room that I saw of the JLP using Michael Manley's song, My Father Barnia, and them using it and to highlight their points on what they want to say. And when I saw it, I sat back in my chair and I said, all right, yeah, what to stop them from using it? Nothing can stop them from using my father Barnea to do memes. Next thing you know, them start playing my father Barnea at them conferences and them meetings. But what to stop them? Because this is what you get when you have illiterate delegates of the PNP who never understood, unlearned delegates of the PNP who never understood what being a delegate is all about, who never understood what their duties and responsibilities are. So this is what you get. The JLP using my father Barnea as a meme. This is what you get when delegates sold their votes to a white man that they knew nothing about. But believe me when I tell you tonight, we are going to take off that plaster. And now let me tell you this, before any of you even start thinking it. I am going there. There. I am going places where in any ordinary world or in any ordinary scheme of things, no one should be going. But tonight, we're going there. We're going there. Because this is what you get. A meme with a JLP member talking about them leader Barnea, playing the PNP song. And you get that because one, you have delegates who just don't and never know what their responsibility of a delegate is. And two, you have delegates who, even if they had an idea, decided to sell their vote, the one that was guaranteed to them by Norman Manley, for $15 and $10 and $5,000, and sold their vote without even blinking an eye. So this is what you get. This is what you get when you have elected a leader who wants to change who the founder of our party is. This is what you get when the leader you have elected said, the man who founded our party isn't the man who founded our party. This is what you get when you have a man who is hell-bent on throwing out every single person who don't like him, who don't support him, who know nothing with him, and want them out of the PNP. So this is what you get. My father Barnea playing in a meme with JLP people talking about their leader Barnea. This is what you get. So guess what? Because of what you did, this is what you get, and you're going to get more. They are going to be using that song and you can't do nothing about it, kind of copyrighted to PNP. It was made for Michael, because Michael father Barnea, Michael grandfather Barnea, Michael mother Barnea, Michael grandmother Barnea. And this is what you get. That is what you chose. This is what you get. All right? This is what you get. Look at you. This is what you damn get. Because that is what you did. So, I am looking now for the song by Father Barnea. I'm going to play it for Uno PNP people. We take Michael Manley's song and turn it into a puppy show song by voting for and electing a man who nobody for him Barnea. And when I say nobody, well, in pity them Barnea. But this is what you get. You can't quarrel. This is just what you get. Because this is what you voted for. This is what you sold your vote for. And now you have a leader who think that in Barnea, and him father Barnea, and him grandfather and him grandmother Barnea, which they don't. So, this is what you get. This is what you get. So, Make us play it. Make us play it, man. Come on, play it, people. Get up and sing the song. On the day I come to their conference. Come on, play people, you know. Make somebody a dance. Me not see nobody a dance. Martin Hutchinson, do you move now? You know your song? Anybody a dance? Anybody a dance? Never the pioneer core. They say never struggle and make a song for Michael. Never dance. Pull it up. Where say pull it up? Where say pull up? Alright, I pull it up then. I want to say pull up, you know, not me. Man, I make me do things what I'm not supposed to do, you know, because I don't know nothing about this damn thing. I want to make me do foolishness, you know. You want me to pull it up and start it again, alright? Let's see if we can start it again. Poor me. Yeah, me under another pull up argument with me. Because I don't know if I pull up nothing, you know. So make the song play. Make the song play. When it done play, make it play again. And it's all dance a conference where dance a song, yeah? Alright? Come on, play people. Give them with the minimum wage. Give them with the minimum wage. What a dancer, man. Alright, look at dancing like how Mark dancing. Now this is how Mark dancing. That's how Mark dancing. Alright, so. Now dance like Mark. On the dancer, man. No bastard, no day again. Everyone laughing. Whoa, whoa, everyone laughing. I saw my dancing, you know. Yeah, man, jump up with everything. Jump up with the basic school. Jump up with the basic school. Socialists are not cool. I'm not dance, I'm somebody dance. I'm the alone dance. I'm the alone dance. You tell me the impact program. We have them under manners. Every man. Now some people are conference. Imagine. Michael, come on and butter. Have them under manners. Alright. Who's a pull up again? Alright. I can pull up again and I'll play again. Anyway, now we're not going to do that. Anyway, that was exciting. The JLP have taken Never Struggler's song that he made for Michael and turned it into a meme with them saying, them father bother. My God in heaven. Look at us. Alright, let's move on very quickly because we have a lot to get through. We have a lot of things to get through regarding Mark Golding, and I can't get through it alone. It will be madness for me to try to take this on. Yes, Marlene Lewis, I am a mad woman. Yeah. You bet? What you doing on the mad woman life? Are you stupid? When you come up on mad people life? No, you are the mad smart enough because you're on mad people life. Why are you on mad people life? So now, we're going to talk about a couple of things first before we get into the Mark Golding thing. The Paul Well thing. The Paul Well thing. As we speak, a host of FBI agents and other agents and other investigative bodies have descended on Jamaica. Looking into this business with the death of Paul Well's baby. A whole host of them here. The Americans here over there, sir. The British here over there, sir. Because them investigate a whole different level of things, the British. Because I'm interested in the money laundering thing or what the money was for, or if this account is an account that is used all the while to what you call it, what the word is, Jesus, the word slipping me. This is the account this is the kind of account that people use to blackmail people. Yeah, the British looking into that as well as something else. But the investigators are here in full flight, and they are on the ground and them doing everything that they need to do to get to the bottom of this. And in spite of that, extortion, yes, Michelle, and the blackmail and all kind of thing them looking into the British. And in spite of all of that, Paul Christopher still out in East Kingston and Port Royal trying to one-up man the legitimate elected member of parliament, Philip Paul Well. Him trying to even mash up this thing that them going to keep for Paul Well on the 25th of November. Him trying all kind of shenanigans out there. Because him is losing and he has lost. Oh, sorry, sorry, Marlene. I thought you were. Sorry, my darling. My apologies. And him still trying to beat down Paul Well. But you know what? Him bucking up on Rockstone because Paul Well people them gathering around Paul Well. Them giving him strength, them showing him love. You see him at funeral the other day. Comrade Lorraine Dobson, mother died. My condolences, Lorraine. Sorry to hear about your mother. I want to tell you that you're not going to get over that anytime too soon. But have faith. And him still there, trying to get Paul Well, give Paul Well a hard time, because him only power that him have out there is through the councillor who no live here. The councillor who no represent the Norman Gardens division, but she's a councillor for Norman Gardens division, and his only power is through that, is through her. So I'm still holding on. But I gather that some people in East Kingston and Port Royal are doing a little thing to show some love to their member of parliament, and that is going to be November 25th. If you live in Region 3, go on, man, and show Paul Well some love. If you even live in Region 4 or 5, go and show Paul Well some love. The risers, them still out there talking foolishness because them don't realize that they are investigators looking into people like Jessica Dean. Won't you believe? Would you think this was some kind of play thing? Some kind of play something? Jessica Dean's played a pivotal role in this. And them the man, they don't like our police them. But that's a look in front of them. Them man, they want to look behind them and beside them and over them head. That's how people investigate things to find out who were the players that led to the death of this baby. And the $50,000 demand to go into account. So they might find that all out, and Jessica Dean's her father is lawyer, so she better suit up. So all of you risers out there, running off of the mouth, pan Comrade Paul Well still. And the whole on the pan, boy, something not add up. or nothing not add up, or this not add up, and you don't know about something not add up. That's because you can't damn count. That is why it not add up. Because you can't count. Because most of them never go basic school, don't know for count. You not try put 2 and 2 to get 22. So that's why it not add up for no. But I suspect it's not adding up for no, because you don't like how it's working out. You don't like it at all. But if I was all on the risers, the rise bloggers, them never call themselves bloggers, because you're not idiots, you never know what the blogging say. Pure foolishness in the talk. Somebody says some foolishness, then a whole host of people go and put it and add more foolishness to it with no end result, with no meaning, with no impact. Except that it not add up, and it not add up, and something not add up. Because we can't damn count. That's right now. When I was stay long on that, but I just wanted to let the public know that all investigators are in Jamaica and them looking deep into things. And them not gonna leave no stone unturned. Them gonna dig up everything. Huh? Then 2 nights ago, or a night or 2 ago, or 2 mornings ago, I don't know, yesterday morning, the morning before, the days are getting away from me because I'm ahead of the days. We got the sad news that Melissa Silvera died. And I began to do a little bit of querying around to find out, what happened. And Melissa was the daughter of Leslie, who died a couple months ago. Leslie was a PMP stalwart. She loved PJ, she loved Dr. Phillips, she loved her party. And I don't want to sully Leslie's memory. Leslie was one of those who was extremely good to the wire when we were young and foolish, and we don't know what to do, and sometimes PJ don't know what to do it, and then put us on to Leslie, and she bring it. I remember one a young lady came to party headquarters at PMP headquarters to the YO one day with her 2 children. She's abroad now. Yes, we give her a visa. We give her a visa, yeah, because we don't run visa. Yeah. Big and bossy. So we give her a visa. We get her birth certificate for her children them and passport for her children them, and we give her a visa, share her children them. She's doing well in the great United States of America. But I remember when she came to us today, she came to us with a bag and said she don't know where to go. And she came to ask us for something, but she also said she don't want to go back home because man beat her and him Ray and all kind of things was going on with her and him. Them time that we're not so versed on what to do except that we don't want to find somewhere to put her and the children for the night and then figure it out in the morning. So we call Leslie, and Leslie sort it out, and she got somewhere to stay. Actually, a semi-permanent place to stay through Leslie until we send her away, go America. So Leslie was a good, decent person. But when I heard about Melissa's death, and somebody suggested to me that it could have been an aneurysm, and I went and I didn't look up aneurysm. When it comes to medical things, my go-to is to go straight to Dr. McDreamy, Derek Shepherd. Yeah, man, Grey's Anatomy, me I go. Because Grey's Anatomy is just a movie, it's just a show. But while it is just a show with actors, and the actors are just acting, and it's a script, the medical situations are usually real in terms of diagnosis for, I'm not saying the person's sick for true, but the diagnosis, the argument, the dialogue is always real. So I went straight to McDreamy, because only him one could explain to me what an aneurysm is. It's an abnormal swelling or a bulge in the wall of your blood vessel, such as an artery. And while McDreamy concluded that an aneurysm is is something that can happen anytime, and a lot of things can cause it, and they are fatal if they rupture, and all of that. Something's bothering me about Melissa's death. Something's bothering me because while Leslie was a good person and probably even a good mother to some extent, I find it disheartening. And I know someone will get vexed, but before Oprah started bringing on women on her show to talk about their abuse, women didn't talk about their abuse. My stepfather, who was good to me, taught me everything I know, taught me how to paint, how to use a hammer, how to build things. Him was emotionally and verbally abusive to my mother. Emotionally and verbally abusive to my mother until I got a little bigger and told him I'm going to kill him if he not stop. And him stop. But I know how those things are. And the whole PNP know that Joyland Silvera is a woman beater. The whole PNP know that. So Joyland Silvera is a woman beater. Beat that girl senseless sometimes. Don't know. But Leslie, who loves him very much, loves him for her daughter, and insisted that her daughter marry him. I suspect Melissa was kind of in love with him too, because they all thought back when he was in St. Mary and he was going to run the seat that he was going to be the next Michael Manley. Or some people, But since her mother died, I'm sure she had some stresses on her, and the walls of the blood vessels that would cause an aneurysm, if it is an aneurysm, would suggest that there's some battering and bruising from that. And Joyland Silvera can't escape this. That I think that all on out there talk about Paul thing not add up. We're not going to add this up. 1 + 1 = 2, not 22. 2 + 2 = 4. We're getting this, risers? 4 + 2 = 6. But you can get 6 by different way. You can say 4 + 2 = 6, 3 + 3 = 6, 5 + 1 still = 6. So we're going to add that up. Because him used to beat the crap out of her. Him used to beat the crap out of that girl, Joyland Silvera. Beat her up to the day before them got married. He was a sick man. And I don't know what exactly, and I won't get into them family life, because I know that, them move often, because them put him out often, because him is a man who walk around with Mark Golding. And I'm not saying all of this to, it's not something I should say, but I have to say it. As I said, tonight's a night where there are things that I should not say, but I have to say it. And I have no doubt in my mind, absolutely none, that those beating contributed. The nose bleeding, the stress, the pressure that she probably was under, those beatings contributed to it, and he can't escape that and can't get out from that. And he might walk around still a look seat for represent people. And that's what happened to the Jamaican people when them don't know about the people that they are going to vote for. Them don't know nothing because them don't have no information on them, and we don't have no journalists in Jamaica that provide accurate information about people running to represent people. Because for some reason, the journalists who call themselves journalists believe that it's the voters who are supposed to investigate these people. But it's you. It's not no voter. Every striking journalist, every striking person in the United States knows everything about Joe Biden's last 50 years in politics. There's nothing that they don't know about him. Everything for Bill Clinton went wide, spread out in 92 when he was running for president. I know because we were down there. Every day, something dropped. Say him did this, and he did that, and him had up that girl, and him pregnant that black one, and wow, that kind of things. Everything. But we don't have nobody to tell us about the people that they are asking us to vote for. Which is why I'm just going to segue now into the whole Mark Golding thing. But before I segue into Mark Golding thing, I want to read something for you tonight. And I want you to bear with me. All of you who remember this poem by Claude McKay, If We Must Die. That poem. If you don't remember it, come say it with me. if we must die, let it not be like hogs hunted and penned in an inglorious spot, while round us bark the mad and hungry dogs, making their mock at our accused lot. If we must die, oh, let us die nobly, so that our precious blood may not be shed in vain. Then even the monsters that we defy shall be constrained to honor us through death. O kinsmen, we must meet the common foe. Though far outnumbered, let us show us brave, and for their 1,000 blows deal one death blow. What though before us lies the open grave? Like men, we'll face the murderous, cowardly pack. Press to the wall, dying, but fighting back. All hail to Mr. Claude McKay. So, comrades, I am going to, boy, you see this thing? I'm not having a drink, I'm not having a rum, on a wine, on a beer, on a water. I'm not having a stuff, because we are going to go into Mr. Mark Golding now, and I am going to bring on Michelle's turn shortly. But I want you to understand something, that all the information that we are about to share, I want you to know how we gathered that information. We gathered this information through libraries, the Library of Congress in the United States, the War College Library in the UK, the National Library in the UK, the local library in Liverpool, the library of, I can't pronounce the name, down in Russia. We didn't go to Google for anything. We paid money to get on sites to find the things that we needed to find. We went to ancestral.com and some more ancestral places. We wanted to know that we also had human sources, kind of like the FBI and the CIA and the intelligence community. Human sources, human resources, human resources. We had people who worked with the Goldings, whose parents worked with the Goldings. We had security guards who worked at an apartment building owned by an apartment that the Goldings owned. We had sources, lots of sources, and so I want to put that out there as to where and how we gathered this information. But before I bring on Michelle, I want to also say that Zara Burton, and I don't know her, I like her name, Zara Burton, I don't know what's her middle name. Zara name is kind of modern, but Zara Burton did an expose on Mark Golding, challenging him on his submission to the IC. And when the report was sent to me to read what Zara said, and how she even interviewed him, I wondered to myself, if Zara had the resources, how much deeper she could have gone, because she would make an excellent investigative journalist if she stick with it. She should start a thing where just investigate all of our leaders, every one of them, dig deep into them, find things out about them so the public can know. I mean, it is our right to know, because you want to represent us, you want me to vote for you, I want to know who you are. And when you talk about the illicit six, that them talking about, that Mrs. Holness, who is the new Speaker of the House, congratulations to Mrs. Holness. I am not one of those who have any problem with that, because Mr. Holness don't make Mrs. Holness look good. It's Mrs. Holness that make Mr. Holness look good. And that is just that. And that's not about looks either. That's something else. And if Zara Burton had gone deeper, how much more she could have found out. Maybe she have back up on some of the things that we found. You know? And so we dig deep. We dug, we scratched, we lift up, we'll go on with pure things. And I want to commend Zara Burton on her efforts. It fell short, but I want to commend her on her efforts. Because Mark Golding is a liar. He's a liar straight from hell. And tonight we are going to talk about everything. We're going to talk about his family life. Yes, I'm going there. I'm going to talk about him and his wife, because we believe that he was forced to marry her. We're going to talk about his wife, who is basically uneducated, has no skills, no profession. We're going to talk about him as the rich white man feeling trapped, never bothered to help get his wife to get a skill and to present her. We're going to talk about how we never knew about her. We're going to talk about his children, particularly his daughters, who are as elitist and racist as he is. Never dated black men, a thing with them. We're going to talk about how they are daddy's girls. You know, we're going to talk about that. And we're going to talk about his ancestry. And we're going to show you that. We're going to go into the trash can. And this is how we're going to do it. We're going to talk about the first and most important act of treachery and betrayal is when Mark Golding tried to remove Norman Manley from the history. We're going to talk about how Mark Golding and his daughters treated his wife, their mother. Yeah, I tell you, we're going there. We're going deep, deep, way down there. And at the end of this all, we are going to talk to you, the Jamaican people, about why you should not allow this man to lead this country because of all that he has done. So we're going to talk about his great-grandfather. And I think the other day, him and Bunting side chick made a statement that my grandfather was born in Cambridge. Now, when I was sent the clip, I responded angrily to those who put it in the war room, and I said, what the hell is this? Send me the whole thing, because I want to hear from him saying father born in Cambridge. Cambridge where? Because there are about 30 Cambridges in the world. The most famous being Cambridge, Massachusetts. So we're going to get on, and we're going to go on bad about all of this. And I'm going to bring on Michelle now. Michelle, send me a request. Let me bring you on so that I can start, and then we can go into this deep. I hope we don't have the time for this. I want my phone battery hold for this, because this is my 64%. I probably will get it charged. All right. Okay, comrades and friends, Jamaicans. Michelle, where are you? Let's welcome Michelle Stern. You know, I always felt that, Michelle. I have always felt. How you doing, Michelle?
Hi. Hi, everybody.
Oh, you're not in St. Anne. I'm going to bust out for you. You're not in St. Anne. You're in the cool hills up somewhere up, up.
Yeah.
You are hanging out with Capillaris people.
I don't know.
And then them are Capillaris people.
No, sir.
And I'm not
Not at all. They were having fun. They were having fun seeing that they were right playing my father born and then down to a whistle, Baba.
But I may tell you. You know, before you start, Michelle, I want to make a few things, just a few things, and then turn it over to you, and I will just chime in every now and then.
Boy, before you go on, I have some tragedy. My laptop decided to crash, which is its usual thing. And when it came back, it decided without permission to update itself. Having gone and updated itself, and I shifted because I have a little young man that was very excited when one company live, and his grandfather said no. Moved everything into the room, and the blasted computer decided it had enough of this damn politics and that went turn on. So everything that we have to do by memory. You have
I will help you. I will help you.
You have your tablet nearby.
Yeah,
You can bring up some of the stuff.
No. You know me, I'm not doing the tablet thing. But print my stuff.
Oh, goody. So you can read. Excellent.
I print it at my shop. So you know I print my stuff. So
that's the computer decide. That's it. Jesus.
Michelle, you must say hi. Andrea saying hi. Say hi to everybody.
Hello, everybody. Hi, Jamaica. Not just comrades now. We're talking to the whole of Jamaica.
We're talking to the whole of Jamaica. I have always felt that there were situations that I have been a part of, and doing this now, doing all that we have been doing for the last 2.5 years, suggests that those situations were set up for now. I used to back up Mark Golden at the airport a lot. He might have dropping off his children or picking them up. Always just him alone. Never his wife. Just him. Never him and her, just him alone. Never her, just him alone. The children, particularly the girls, treated their mother like a slave, like a maid. They couldn't stand her. It was Mark who did all the school runs, go to all the school functions, because they were hiding their mother. So this white man married to this young lady and had 3 children with her and was hiding her. The first time I met Sandra was at Angela's birthday party at Devon House. I don't remember which one that was. Benisha was hosting and introduced me to her. Karen, this is my best friend Sandra. That's how he introduced her. It was later on that somebody said his wife, and I went back over. I said, "When Mark introduced me, he said, wife, yeah man, I forgot to tell you." That's what he said to me. So he forgot that his wife was his wife, but he said was his best friend. It's not a bad thing to introduce a wife as your best friend. But you could say, this is my wife, Sandra, who's my very best friend.
But to forget that she's a wife is extraordinary.
But that would be the thing in it. So here we are, Sandra, who is basically uneducated, has no skill, no profession, and this rich white man never took the opportunity to educate the woman and make her independent. So she's not an independent woman. There's his daughters who are elitist and racist, and according to our human sources, they treated their mother like crap. The 2 girls and their father. The boy, him treated his mother good. Boys love their mother. None of the girls ever dated a black man. It's a rule, according to some of them so-called friends from school. It is a rule that they never date black men. They are daddy's girls. And Mark in charge of everything.
Well, one
their mother
of them, I think the second daughter married to a white Jamaican, rich white Jamaican.
Yeah. Airport drop off, airport pick up, it's just him and them. Never Sandra. Sandra wasn't involved in all of that.
Well, here this my cousin told me that apparently that she said she used to see her at swimming. And which surprised me with the children. And I said, then was Mark?
Like she was the helper.
Yeah, but me asked, was Mark there? She said no. So he was never there when she had the children.
No, but they treated her like she's the helper. Like she was a helper, so she's going anywhere with them is the helper carrying out the 2 white baby them. Is ancestry we are going to cover in depth tonight, and I want Jamaica to understand something which I will not do now, but we will go into after we start. So Michelle, You want to start?
Yes, where we're going to start now? Beginning or the
Um,
end?
eh? The
Should we
beginning of
start
the
at the
end?
beginning?
Go
All of
ahead.
it has to go from memory now.
What what the song in A Sound of Music say? Let's start from the very beginning. A very good place to start. Because when you sing, you say do re mi. When you count, you say 1, 2, 3. So let's start from the beginning.
All right. Let me start from an article that HG Helps posted. The 4th of, no, I'm going by memory now, you know. So you can praise me at the end. Jamaica, you can praise me at the end if I remember these things, right? Because always I'm a little
Baby, the
jottings.
laptop, they're not with you.
Don't need me to fall, ET. Just have the little light on, not coming on. I hope it just fell asleep. I think it's update that mash up
Yeah,
the
yeah,
computer.
yeah, man. Go ahead.
Anyhow, yeah. So anyhow, so HG Helps did an article for the Observer, Jamaica Observer, on the 4th of October 2020. Who is this man, Mark Golding? Isn't that interesting? Is that our topic for tonight?
Yeah.
All right. And he went and he put some stories. And one of the source of the story was from Mark. So this so-called journalist apparently assumed that this gentleman telling him these things, it must be so. And he
Let
told
me
him a
just
number of
pause.
things.
Let me just pause and say something on that, and then we can continue. But this is how we're to do it. HG Helps and some and journalists of his ilk are the ones who usually clean up some politicians with their articles, clean them up, scrub them to try to let us forget some things. But we'll get
Sanitize them.
sanitize them. Thank you very much. Sanitize them.
Well,
Let us clean them up.
I don't know if I'd blame him to think that he's dealing with an honorable man, and therefore what the information that he's getting is you know, accurate. So one of the things that Mark said in his articles, and he said Mark said, he never said himself so, he said Mark said it, was that, and Mark has said it several times, on several occasions, whenever he chose to bring up this business about his father, that his father was on his way en route to the United States, right? In 1953, he was actually en route to the United States to take up an appointment at the University of Chicago, right? And then he fell in love with Jamaica. And I'm trying to figure out how the dickens that a man leaving from England en route to the United States ended up in Jamaica. I mean, did the ship get lost? Was it the Bermuda Triangle that grabbed hold of the ship and sent it to Jamaica? Because that's not how it worked. I'm sure you have ships leaving every day for the United States, backward and forward between Britain and the United States, because that was people's favored way of travel. They didn't trust plane, right? They go by steamship. And they said he was en route to Jamaica. So I decided to go and do some little investigation. I want to see when he arrived in Jamaica. Well, I found the outgoing ship record, the manifest, right?
And we
And it
found
said,
that, and because we want to be transparent, we found that through
yes, we got that through, it would be, which one of the sites now? It's the Mormon Church,
the Mormon church. Because
yes,
and the Mormon church has an elaborate library of stuff. That's
yes,
things
and it's
that are
online.
lost. They
Yes,
do.
it's
Yeah.
online. So we got the shipping information finally. I found it. And that can't remember now whether or not it said that he left on the 10th of November. I think it said he left on the 10th of November, right?
Mm-hmm.
And based upon what they were saying, unless that was a pretty quick ship, um, it takes about 2 months, 60 days to get here. And it had stops along the way. Now that particular ship was coming from, it appeared was coming from
10th
the
of
other
November
side.
1953.
Right. It was coming from Australia and so on. So it took, first of all, some servicemen, drop them off, and then pick up these, I think about 6 or 8 um, passengers, all traveling first class. Now, in a corner, in the ninth column, it asks the travelers, what is the final, what does it ask? What is the final, it asks the country of final,
port of embarkation.
yes, yes,
Final port of embarkation.
yeah, final
Final port of
residence.
embarkation.
No,
Yeah.
no, no, the final residence.
Final destination. Final port of destination.
Yeah, so basically what it is asking them is, are you going to return to the is it your intention to return to the United Kingdom after you leave, or are you going to be going somewhere else? Where are you going to be staying in future? So it's asking for the future. As a matter of fact, I think I wrote it down. It's asking for the future place of residence, right? Now, for those who are going back to the United Kingdom, and there were about 6 of them that was going back to the UK, they put the United Kingdom. In other words, it's just a
The
little
ship would
short
have
trip.
been here for a little bit, for a while.
Yeah, well, it would take another ship to go back. 2 were going to the British Honduras, which is now called Belize. 2 were going there, so they said that that is their final destination. That is where they intend to live at for the foreseeable future. That's the country of permanent residence. And one of them to the Bahamas. And he alone, John Golding, put on his Jamaica.
That's what the shipping manifest says. That's what the manifest
intended place of final residence was Jamaica. It means that when he came to Jamaica in 1953,
when he boarded that ship, he was heading to Jamaica.
He was coming to Jamaica and wasn't going anywhere else. And wasn't en route to anywhere else. Now the question is, we must ask, where did Mark get that story from? Is it Mark that made it up? Or is it Daddy who made it up? Because we found out some things about Daddy's movements, which is a little bit suspect. Not that he was doing anything illegal. He was doing official stuff, it appears, for the British government. So he must have made up some story and gave his family to account for the reason why he came to Jamaica, because he could not tell them, obviously. The real reason is what we are surmising, right?
And I want to interject right here, so now.
Go ahead.
We surmise that John Golding, after his enrollment, after he joined the army in, when was it that he joined the army?
He joined the army in 1946.
It's after World War II, 45, yes. 40.
No, 46.
He joined the army in 46, and yes. they sent him down to Tobruk, down in Libya. Yes. And he was one of many doctors. Of course, him saying his own writings that he was the only doctor there. That was a lie.
That was the impression that was given, that he was the only doctor for hundreds of miles.
Yes. And yeah, it was just one of many doctors.
Yes, he went to join a specialist group. Yeah. He went to the British Medical Hospital in Tobruk to join a group of specialists. They never said what it was that he was specializing and what he was supposed to be doing there. Yeah. And what is more, when he was finished his training, he got his rank, which was the rank of lieutenant. Orders came that he was to travel to Tobruk in Libya as a civilian, not as an army individual. So he was going through.
Let me interject here. Let me give some clarity to the viewers.
Yes, go ahead.
About why we believe that was so. We suspect, and I'm saying suspect, because there are certain information that, like, the British War College will not give us, and the fact that they will not give us suggests we can go with this. We suspect that John Golding, when he came to Jamaica, when he was based in Tobruk, we suspect he was based there as an intelligence officer, but a doctor, because World War II had just completed, and both the British and the Americans were fighting for dominance of leftover of Hitler's scientists. The Americans,
everybody,
and the French. But it was mostly between them. And the one of them fight for the Hitler's doctors, them, and whatever research that they might have had. So that is why the British were looking for young semi-trained doctors to send home, because the British being in Libya was kind of an occupation because the war had ended. It was kind of an occupation in Libya. So he was a part of a crew of doctors that they recruited to go down to Libya, and it had everything to do with getting those medicine, research on all kind of disease, research on all kinds of things. And we believe that that is where that started from. Go ahead, Michelle.
And one of the reasons why we believe that is because of the way how the British operate. When the British is going to look for anybody, they look for the best and the brightest. They look out for them. They look out for the ones with it. And he graduated from what was it, Cambridge, with honors, right? He graduated with honors in '44. He did his internship, and they call it, I'm not sure what they call it in those days, but we call it internship today, at the hospital where I think it was the Middlesex Hospital. And by '46, I came for him. And there is the appearance of it that he may have joined the army. Let me see if it's him or his father.
No, man.
His grandfather. I think it was him. Anyhow.
No, it's not him. His father joined earlier back in World War I. He joined after World War I ended.
Yeah, the Australian Air Force. But anyway, so he was up and down the place with his father, who was also a doctor, going to Morocco, don't know what they were doing, going to India, going to all over the place at 17. And we're wondering if that is where also the British had their eyes on him, if his father was also gathering information.
Intelligence agent,
right?
Yeah.
And so anyway, so he caused this thing to be put out that he was one doctor in hundreds of miles, only for us to find out that he was assigned to the British Medical Hospital in Tobruk. Also, he was traveling between Tobruk, Libya, to the British Medical Hospital in Egypt.
In Palestine.
In
Egypt
and Palestine.
Yeah, in Egypt and Palestine.
No,
yeah.
He was here for a short period, just a few months. So whatever it is, they send him down there for. And I didn't actually check yet to see if whatever it is was top secret, and if they have released it. If they have not released it after nearly 70 years or more,
No.
it is telling us something.
Right. The fact that we could get ask for information from a random person and get it quickly, but we couldn't get his, suggests that his role was of British intelligence. He was in Tobruk from September 47 to April 48.
All right, this is after his training.
Yeah.
Right.
He spent 7 months only.
Now, when we talk about the dead giveaway, in my view, was when they decided to send him to the area as a civilian, not as a military officer, because I'm sure they had ships. The British had bases there, and I think in Egypt, and they had ships going to and fro Britain. They didn't decide to send him there, so they decided to send him through the immigration. You know what immigration is, right? It's a man that steer you in the eye and ask you questions: where you're coming from, where you're going, what's your purpose of travel, and they can turn you down and run you out of them country, right? They decide to put him through that, and they must have had their own reasons.
Yeah.
You understand? So this is what suggests to me that he was on some kind of mission. Anyway, at the end of it, when they said it ended in
April 48.
All right.
He was down there from September 1947 to April 1948.
Right.
So it was about 48 or 49. I think the British pull out of Libya.
Well, by 51, I think what happened was the Libyans decided to declare independence, and the British just took for themselves.
But the British had started to leave from late 48.
Yes. So he returned home, and I meant to look up this gentleman and got sidetracked. He went home and went back to the hospital where he did his internship as what is known as a registrar. Now, a registrar is not somebody who keeps books. A registrar is kind of somebody in training to the head man in that unit, right? It's a big position. And he was there for 2 years between 1949 to 1951. right? And he was and he was supposed to have been studying orthopedic surgery or furthering his studies under this gentleman that he claimed, another story they put out, was the father of orthopedic surgery.
No, he
His name
wasn't.
was,
But he
yes,
was
his
not the
name was,
father of Gordon.
right, his name was Gordon something. You remember what it was?
Yeah,
He
no, I
was he
don't
was
remember.
not an
But he
orthopedic
was not
surgeon, that's the
an
first thing. He was an anatomist,
Yes,
a man
yes.
who
They were
can
studying.
do surgery.
Let me be clear to the viewers. The man that John Golden was studying apprenticeship under was a man who was studying the human body. And
Yes.
the studying of the human body was to look at its resilience to certain things. We believe that they got a hold of some of the Nazi research that Hitler people them sold for their freedom and whatever it is that them take the scientists them and think for. And we believe that the man that John Golding studied under was the one who was leading that process for British intelligence. Remember, people, after World War II ended, the British, the Americans, the French, the Russians, everybody angling for world dominance, and everybody wanted some of those research. And they would have done anything to get those research because the Hitler man them was way far advanced in terms of using Jews as their guinea pigs to find solutions to things. And that's where we think that the British intelligence decided to use John Golding. The Britain has suffered from polio from as early as the 16th century. Britain have been trying to find a cure for polio. Polio outbreak was very frequent in Britain from as early as the 16th century. And they couldn't seem to put them on something that could help them cure it. And they found the perfect patsy, and that's John Golding. So they developed this serum that they had because them and the Americans were racing to see who could come up with the first sample of a good serum. And we believe that, and we have evidence to believe that they sent him down to Jamaica to go test out those serum and the Jamaican population. And please do remember that in 1953, Jamaica is a British colony. And therefore, if them send you down here, they basically send them down here to a piece of them own country. So them send him down here to come test out the whole polio vaccine, and him come down here, come kill our people, picnic and stuff. Now here's what I want to talk about before Michelle move on to go back and look at his ancestors. I want to just wrap up some parts of John Golding for you. When he came, he came prepared for just about everything. I want you to follow me, people. He came in 53, and Michelle is going to go through the days and stuff. By the time he came, within a year, he owned the house where I'm living at. How we're going to talk about that is the same house at Farringdon where Mark lives now. So he owned the house that he lived in. He had money to start the clinic. He had money to build hospital. He was running around the country proclaiming himself to be some savior for a disease that we never had, a disease that he brought here to come test out on us, on instructions, we believe, from British intelligence, because I'm trying to find a polio vaccine and it's not working. They were testing it on Indians in Britain. They were testing it on the Irish population, and nothing was working for them. So they had to send him down to the colonies, and they chose Jamaica to find out what would work, and then find out that it can work down here. But he came prepared for everything. So that boosts up the argument that Michelle just made, that he wasn't on his way to anywhere. He was heading here, specifically here, to come test out that thing here, and our children here. So he wasn't heading anywhere, you know? And we want to just destroy that myth that John Golding was not a savior for Jamaica, and we're going to be petitioning the Jamaican government to remove that out of Jamaica, that they that they gave him. The British can keep them, sir. Kyle was a British citizen, can keep them, sir. But we're going to petition the Jamaican government to take away that OJ because his whole thing is a lie. And we have the history and the documentation to prove it.
Now, imagine, I want you to imagine with me, comrades. This man graduated from Oxford in 1944 with honors. Did his internship, went to Libya, and came back in by April and was sent back to his hospital to study under this man called he's called Sir Gordon Taylor. He was a first-class surgeon. That man could do a quarter surgery, meaning cut off the whole of your hip and all the way down. Nobody couldn't do that. That's was how good he was. So he spent 2 years. Now we don't know. When I was trying to find out if not being what do you call it, a registrar, when his registrarship ended in 1951, or when he stopped being a registrar, if he stopped being an understudy to Sir Gordon as well.
No, we believe based on what we have that they moved him. They wanted him to come to the colony.
Right. So he would have
to prepare him for that. And that required some additional training, which is what we cannot get. That 52, that entire 1952 thing.
Yes, 51 and 2. We don't know what he was doing. He never said.
Yeah.
He never said what he was doing. So we could assume that he was at the hospital, right? Practicing, I suppose, as an orthopedic surgeon doing surgery. Let us give him that. Right? But they never said what he was doing. Next thing we heard about this man, he was on a ship on his way to Jamaica. He said that his final destination, right, was Jamaica. That's what he said, not going anywhere else. This man was coming to a country where he knew nobody. Nobody, no family here. Him didn't have any family here.
Not a soul.
And he came to take up a post at the University College of the West Indies. Not to lecture in orthopedics, because why would the university pick out orthopedics when it's just a small area of medicine to lecture in? No, he came here to lecture in medical ethics, and he was at the university. When he arrived, polio, the paralytic polio, we never had that before. Paralytic polio, right? Started. The first case that the Gleaner reported, the diagnosis was the 9th of June, right? 1954. That was 6 months after Golding arrived, the first case. But when you read the Gleaner, you get the impression there was a whole heap of people just come down with it, and he was there to rescue these black people by setting up his rehab.
Nobody was questioning him. Because nobody was questioning him. He's a white man, just come from England, and him talk good, and him white, and him.
Well, we don't know. We're not sure for him to start this. No, this could be Mark trying to give himself some kind of, would I say, in Jamaica, alibi, right? Trying to give himself some kind of reason why people should vote for him. So him start to embellish. And I don't think he knows anything about his father, because people in that kind of business that his father, we suspect his father was in, don't talk and tell people what it is they are up to.
No.
Right?
No.
So he came, and the first case, so when you read it, you hear there were 1,500 cases and how many deaths, and him did this and him did that. You would never think there was a Ministry of Health in Jamaica. No word was ever mentioned about the Ministry of Health.
Before him come and start doing whatever it is that he was doing for killer.
Based upon the story that they are putting out about Mark Golding's father, they are saying that he was an expert in polio. The question is, how did he become an expert in polio when what he studied and practicing was orthopedic surgery? Right? Next thing is that when we did the investigation, I was trying to find out, all right, so we know that the Americans, Roosevelt, was it Franklin Roosevelt, the one who had the polio?
Yeah.
He went and he set up this rehab and set up this fund where people could donate money into the research of polio in the United States. That was his setup. And this fellow called, I think, Salk, he used the old-time method.
He could be dubbed as one of the founding fathers of this day. So
he is the one who found the vaccine.
Yeah.
Experimented on himself first. Experiment on himself first, and then he experimented on 200 and something children. And then he came in, I think it was 53, and made a big announcement that he found this vaccine. And what the vaccine was about, and took the virus, the polio virus, and killed it. It was a dead virus. And put it in the serum and injected people, and they're supposed to develop immunity to the disease. And then they have all kinds of ways
what
to test
John Bolin did was injecting our children with the virus. That's what he did.
Yeah, well, it has to be. I think you have to use the virus to test to see whether or not.
But he never really had an antidote there. He was just testing out the antidote. It never worked before in England.
Right. And when we check and try to find out if the British...
That is because of the blood weakness in the white people. They must die. They tried it on the Indians.
Yes, they would have to. They would have to try it. Yeah, they'll have to try it. And we never had it. We never had it.
We never had it. It got out. Let us be clear. The virus infected in the children did spread, and it did kill some 2,000 picnic. It did. And then
so,
go on.
So with the British now, when I was trying to find out, we'll come back to that. When I was trying to find out who was leading their research in, because there's no way the British when go sit down and see this money making opportunity and don't put money into it to get for them scientists to come up with the vaccine.
And that's where John Golden wealth came in. He was financed by the British government.
So when I checked, all I could find was an article referred, just one, to the British Ministry of Health staff. The staff within the Ministry of Health was doing them only because something, right? They didn't have any official laboratory that was doing the vaccine. So what they did know, because they were desperate, they took the American vaccine also kill a lot of people, and a lot of people came down with the polio because
but let's be clear that the American vaccine and the test they were running was widely known.
Right. So what happened was a batch of the vaccine that one of the companies they contracted to produce, the virus was actually live, and it infected people. So the British now said, no, we're not using the vaccine. What we're going to do is take out the Mahoney one, I think they call it, that they use, the virus, and use something that is less virulent. And they couldn't get the thing to work properly. So anyway, so it was their idea of investigating and coming up with this polio thing was an internal thing in their ministry. But back to John Golden.
We want to finish up with the John Golden thing.
Right.
And move on to to more juicy things.
Yeah, well, when John came now, right? John Golding, you would get the impression reading about the polio from the 50s that it was a John Golding affair.
Yes, right? Yes.
You need to go back into the Gleaner articles, right? You can subscribe to the Gleaner. I hope they pay me for that advertisement. And go back into the articles. And
we'll pay them to get that information. That's not free.
And what you will find is that there was a Ministry of Health in Jamaica, and a Minister of Health in Jamaica, who was Madame Rose Leon. She became Madame Rose Leon. The labor rights were in power.
And she was the minister. It was him that was leading this thing.
And when the polio came, the first case again was in June 9. The next case was in July. The next case after that was in August. I think there were maybe about 2. There were some people who were infected in Hanover, and those people, all of the persons who were infected with polio were transported to the Kingston Public Hospital, wherever they were. So those people in Hanover who contracted, they were transported. They didn't go to the University College of the West Indies. So Mark Golding's father would not have had any reason to be in contact. Furthermore, he came here to lecture. He came here to lecture at the university.
No, he's not
right?
coming to lecture, man. He's an agent of the state.
When the government decided to send some of our doctors to the
Nice and Marie.
Caribbean to have a discussion about the polio and how they should treat it and so on, there were 3 doctors that were sent, and one of them was John Goling. So John Goling, how did John Goling come into this thing? I'll tell you. When the disease started and there were more and more persons, maybe by about August, there were like 12 one time in some area and a few here and there. There was no whole heap at the same time, right? He decided to start a rehab. Now, what is a rehab? A rehab is somebody come down with a disease, they were sent to KPH, KPH treated them, and when they've done whatever they can do for them, they then discharge them, and normally they will go home. What he did was set up a rehab. So that now means that they could leave from the hospital, not all of them because they didn't have the room for everybody, and go, and then they would try and work on them legs. It's a rehab, trying to get them to walk, physiotherapy and all them kind of something. That's what he did. He was not the center of the polio effort. He started a rehab, which is at the end of the treatment from the hospitals that the government would have set up. And then eventually the polio, just like COVID, it just died down and it went into remission. Hardly anybody had it. And then by 57, they came up with they got the vaccine from the United States. And there was a curious thing where I saw where I found one of the records for John Goling leaving, I think it was New York, going back to Britain, was leaving from New York, going to Britain. Don't know what that is about yet. You understand?
No,
so
we made a summation about what that was about. You have to go give a report. He was an intelligence officer. Remember, you have Facebook, you have email him time, you know. And he couldn't give a report and progress report. You have to go give progress report.
Well, I suspect that they sent him there probably to get the vaccine because they had trouble getting the vaccine from the Americans because everybody wanted it. And maybe that was what his role was. He was acting on behalf of the British government.
He give a report and update away my do.
Of course. Right?
Update away my do.
So John Goling did not come here to come save no black people. John Goling came here on a mission on behalf of the government where he served, the British government, right? And he was not here, he was not forefront and no expert on polio. Where did he get his expertise from? The people who the government were relying on. We have no evidence. We can see no evidence that the government was asking him about anything. They had 3 doctors that they were sending out to go and get all the information they can get to deal with it. And all of the cases were taken to the Kingston Public Hospital. That would have been the center for the treatment. And he was not there. He was at the University College of the West Indies, a lecture.
Yeah.
Right? So this is
we need to move on. We need to move on.
So we're killing that myth.
Of course, it never exists. We kill it long time. We just want to give more information. We kill that myth long time, man.
Okay.
We just want. Who was John Goling's father?
John Goling's father is a man called Marx. His name originally was Max Golden, Golden, Max Golden. When his father changed their names,
and that's Mark Golden. And that is Mark Golding's grandfather.
Mark Goling's, yes, Max, and he was also a doctor.
His paternal grandfather.
Right, and he was also a doctor.
Where was he born?
He was born in Dublin, in Ireland.
In Ireland. So they're Irish Jews.
1888. And that
who was
in 1954. We have no evidence that John went to his funeral. We don't know what year.
John wasn't very close to his father. They seem to have been
they were living together.
They went traveling together for a little while when John was younger, when he just joined the army.
And they were living together. They were living together at the same address, so I don't know what happened there. Maybe he went, Maybe he went, but that record just didn't come. Okay,
we don't see nothing of that.
Right.
Well, we don't see anything since their last travel.
No.
Their last travel.
No, he was studying.
Yeah, but we don't see anything of him visiting with his father visiting with him.
No, but they were living together at the same house.
Yes, but I'm saying that after
Oh, no, because his father died in, remember he came to Jamaica 53 and the father died in 54. That's what the record said anyway.
Yeah. Who was his father? Mark's father.
No, he was Joseph Golden. He was a Russian
Yeah, he
Jew.
must have one them lock
They
up in
were
the
all
workhouse
Jewish.
because him. He must have one them lock up down in Russia because him thief or something like that.
No, I don't know about Russia. Can't read Russian, but certainly it appears as though he got into some little money issues in the United Kingdom. You know how these things are. This young fellow came over, he's a draper, and he might have gotten said, and you can't owe money in them days. You know, you understand? They will carry you to court and sue you. That's the appearance of it anyway. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And his father, which would be my great grandfather,
Um,
great three grandfather.
no, Mark Goling would have been his grandfather. So Joseph, would have been Mark's great grandfather. You're talking about his father's
Paternal.
mother's side of the family.
Yeah, paternal.
Yes, that man though was another Orthodox Jew. I think he was.
Mm-hmm.
His name was Benjamin Wolf.
Benjamin, let me give
Wolf
you his full name.
Wolf Levy.
Benjamin
And
Wolf Levy.
yes, and
Oh,
it was his uncle that kind of messed them up. But by when I'm hankering after his money, went and put them as trustee or asked them to set up a
now
trust. And
Benjamin Wolf Levy. Um, he had a slave background.
no, he's the Australian.
He's about he's
Yeah. He
who
was
was
one of the
that?
trustees.
Is that Wolf Levy? Benjamin Nunes is the one that started Mark's slave background.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that one, Benjamin and his wife Esther. He
Esther.
died in
Yeah.
85.
They were the first set of Mark's ancestors that owned slaves.
Well, that is what we that is what we have so far.
That's what we found.
I mean, anybody who was working in Jamaica, they had slaves. Because the housekeeper that them going to have is a slave, they're not going to pay nobody to do that.
Yeah.
So nobody can come tell you that they never know them come here, come open them shop and them work, they never had no slave. Nonsense.
Mr. Logan Levy. Let's talk about
Very
Logan
interesting.
Levy.
This
He's
is the
a very
one
interesting fellow.
This is the one that Mark said was born in Cambridge.
That Mark in Cambridge.
And
now,
Mark found it. Mark said he had a very, what him say, him have a special thing for Cambridge, and I think it sounds like the first him ever been there. So I don't know who can have a special thing for there because his father born there and he never been there.
Golan has never been to Cambridge, St. James. Not anywhere in Cambridge, St. James. He has been to St. James. He has never spent a weekend in Cambridge, St. James. There is no old board house in Cambridge.
He could point to the comments and say, that is where my father used to live.
There's no old friend of a family that Mark Gold. We can point to Norman Man, the old house down at Manchester. We can point to Buster old house over Blenheim and over. We can point to everybody old house. There's no old house in Cambridge that Mark can point to. That's because Logan Levy was not born in Cambridge. And we are going to tell you now, we know that Logan Levy
never call Mark the please. Call Mark G, make him come. Tell him to come to the front of the class.
Because him great him grandfather born.
No, Mark. I sympathize. We sympathize with your Mark. Right?
Sympathize with Mark? I don't sympathize with Mark.
We sympathize with you.
Mark says that his grandfather was born in Cambridge. Jamaica, that's a lie. Yes, Sharon would say it's a damn dirty lie. Mark knows nobody will come from Cambridge. So let me tell you about Logan Levy a bit. Mr. Logan Levy on his way to the US, seeking to become a naturalization citizen. Mr. Logan Levy was born April 28, 1902. Am I right, Michelle?
Yes. Him actually born 1903, but it seems as if him put on that particular document that him born 1902.
1902.
We know it's him
Yeah, we know
because of
it.
his.
Yeah,
We know it's him
it.
because
We know
he
it.
was coming from Cuba, Havana, Cuba, on the ship SS Mexico. For those who want to go check it up, right? We know that we not make up no story until life on Market G.
And he declared, Logan Levy, my grandfather who marks a born at Cambridge, declared on his farm,
which was stamped and sealed, by the way. Read out the number for them.
The New York U.S. State Department, box number 097, declaration number 94276, states that the name of the applicant for a naturalization citizenship is Logan Levy. He declared his age at the time as 18. He declared his birth date as 28th April 1902. And he declared his place of birth as Havana, Cuba.
Hold on there, Karen. Pause right there, so. Read right there, so. What him say? Read what him say on the form. What it say?
He said he was born in Havana, Cuba.
All right. So the form is asking, where were you born? And he is making a declaration. And we're going to go further to show you that him saying, him says so, you know.
Yeah.
Him says so. All right. Go and read now. Read exactly what the things form said. Go summarize.
He arrived in New York on October 7, 1919. And he declared the declaration date on the document we got from the U.S. Naturalization and Immigration Department was 5th of January 1921. There's a mix up with those. In the Southern District Court of New York. And the declaration number, we'll give to your mark, you go check it. 94276. That's your grandfather mark in Havana, Cuba, and it's incessor.
Yeah, but read. Just read what it said, Karen. Just read what it said. Read what it said.
Number, the box number.
No. Read the face of what it is that he said when I'm asking. Read when talk about him born there and everything else when him said, because that is crucial. Just read. Take the time and read it, man.
No. I just want to read that part. You can talk
about it. No. You need to read the part where he said he was about the declaration. Remember that he had to there's a declaration and renounce the he's renouncing his allegiance
to where he was born, and he's declaring that he was born in Havana, Cuba, and he's declaring and he's renouncing any other information that might have been about him, something like that.
Just read it now, Karen, man. Let the people hear it. If I had it, don't read it, you know. Them want to hear it, man. Just read it, let them hear it. So then say we now make this thing up, because none of them not going to look it up, except Mark. Just read what it says.
No, but I don't have the whole thing.
Oh, you don't have it? All right, so he's renouncing. Not only is he saying, he's saying that he was born in Cuba. He traveled on the SS Mexico to New York. That he is he's renouncing his citizenship, and it never said to Jamaica, you know. It said to the Republic of Cuba, right? And then it went on to say at the bottom that something about him being in good faith, and he was going to. I'm sorry that I didn't write it down.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying to read. Just read that portion. Make them hear it
declaration in good faith, and he was born. I am making this declaration in good faith that I was born in Havana, Cuba, 1902, 20 April. As this thing, and this one is not printed. This is written. So this is giving me a little bit of problem.
And my computer will start, and if I come off the line now to read it, nobody will hear it.
And he's declaring that everything that he has said here is true to the best of his knowledge. That's basically what he said. He said that
He said that his intention is to apply for citizenship.
My intention is to apply to be a naturalized citizen, and I declare all of this to be true, to the best of my knowledge. Something to that effect.
He said that he's declaring that his intention is to apply to become a naturalized citizen. Just a second. And that he intends to live in the United States permanently. That's the last thing he said, and then him sign it, Logan Lindsay.
And then yes, we have a signature.
He also joined the military, U.S. military. All of this in a very short space of time. And then eventually he left and went to, where was it that he went to? Cambridge, I think. I think he went to Cambridge to study medicine. So that never lasted. That romance never lasted very long.
Romance didn't last very long because he went
to England and him all registered for vote in England.
That we are still trying to find out. We are still seeking information as to where he went and what he did that could tell us what went on in his life afterwards. He died in
So basically after he got his medical degree,
after he got medical degree,
he got married to this English woman called Alice Jefferson, which is a white woman. And by the way, the most important thing about that declaration when he was applying for this U.S. citizenship, right? That intention to apply for U.S. citizenship was that he was described as white, but very dark. And the reason for that is that if you go and look up his shipping record, it's going to say that he's an African. You know, they're not taking no chat from nobody.
Somebody's birthday, so I get cake.
So it said that he was white. He's a white man. He was a white man, but he was dark. Yes. It's like he was heavily tanned, right? His skin could take the tan.
And his hair is straight down on his head.
Yes, his hair was
straight down on his head. His hair was straight. And straight down on his head.
So and his skin was white.
Him look like a black coolie.
In the picture, the black and white picture, which is old.
Yeah, look like a black coolie.
But that form declared. So anybody here come tell you about how black people in the film family, right? I don't know if it's him that we're talking about. The immigration, the naturalization paper actually said, after then check him out and ask him. And I want you to understand, comrades, that for Logan to go and apply and declare himself to be a Cuban born, he had to produce a birth certificate because that document was stamped. If you look at the bottom where it says seal, it look good. You see that it was sealed.
Yeah.
So then check out everything that he was saying.
Well, the birth certificate was copied and sealed and stamped at his port of entry. So there's nothing fictitious about it.
So let us say for argument's sake, who did he defraud? Was he defrauding the Cuban government or the United States government? Was he defrauding the Jamaican government? Who was he defrauding? Because for you to say that he was born at Cambridge, you must have some reason to think that he was born in Cambridge. And yet the man is saying that he was born in Havana, Cuba. He was in Havana, Cuba with his uncle Frederick Tyson, in case you want to know, Mark. Is his mother's brother.
Mark does come from a family of fraudsters and liars who are building up them name and building up themselves for what they are not. I mean, look at Azoria Rhodes leaving. What about
No, even that. This is a curious thing now because I've seen that name Azoria, and wondered about it. But he died. He eventually died. He had some disease, some lymph.
He never lived long.
He died. He was traveling doing a lot of travel between England with his family.
36 or 37 when he died.
Yes, he was 36 because he was born, we don't know. Him saying born 1902, him saying born 1903, one of them died there, right? In Jamaica, I'm supposedly born in 1903, in Cuba, I'm born 1902.
Yeah.
And he contracted that some sickness and died. And a
And he's buried.
curious thing.
I want to tell Mark about him just in case Mark don't know that Azoria is buried at the Mountain View Cemetery in San Bernardino County in California. And if
Now,
you need anything
if
else, Mark, we can help you with that.
no, who would have laid down that plaque? Let us say for argument's sake, he wasn't buried there, but somebody would have laid down that plaque. Why? Who would have done that? It had that he was born in 1902 and that he died in 1939, same as Logan Levy. And
we
what
wonder,
is more,
and we do
somebody
wonder, and we do
somebody did.
wonder.
Hold on, Karen. Somebody did research and they put that together under his name, Logan Levy. So some family member that put that together in his family research.
I want to pause a little bit, Michelle, and let the comrades know that
Comrades in
there
Jamaica.
has been, based on all that we have uncovered, there seemed to have been a concerted effort by the Golding clan to scrub and sanitize some parts of their history. Now, Michelle, you want to talk a little bit about Benjamin and them and all of that?
Oh, Benjamin. This is Benjamin Nunes.
Yeah.
All right, Mark. If you go back in your history, you will find that through your mother's side of the family, there were some people called Tyson. That's your mother's grandmother, right? That is Logan's mom. We don't know what happened between she and Cecil, but it appears as though they were not married. According to your family history, they were married. There's no evidence of it. As a matter of fact, when she eventually got married in 1909 to this American fellow called Brown, who was a planter, she declared that she was a spinster, right? So, so in her mind, she was not married to Cecil. Whatever it is that the story was with Cecil, Cecil seemed to have gone mad, and he died of a heart attack in a mental institution in Kingston. Can check out all of that, actually. But somewhere
At
along the
Bellevue,
line,
man, use the word Bellevue. There's only one mental institution in Jamaica, that's Bellevue.
somewhere along the line, Tyson, the family name Tyson, had as one of their forebears a man called Benjamin Nunes and his wife Esther. Now, you don't see any family membership from them before, because I believe that they did not come from Europe directly. I think they came probably from Brazil or one of those places. They have a particular name that they call Jews from Spain and so on. So that's where the history began. And when the slavery was abolished, Mark, all of these were people who had slaves, right? Didn't think they have any obligation to the slave, but they certainly believed that they have obligation to themselves to go claim money. And he had already died from about 1835. You can check it out. The wife, Esther, was buried in Falmouth. And but before that, she was the one and some gentleman, I think, called Rodriguez. I don't know if they were married or what, or just a good family friend. They put in their claim for about 34 slaves. I think they put in about 2 or 3 claims, right, that they had. And that is the biggest one. Now, there was another fellow called David Cohen. Now,
yes, let's talk about Mr. Cohen.
Well, Mr. Cohen, we believe, Mark, that there is a connection between your family and this David Cohen because of the names that are associated. I mean, you have the Hyman, Henry Hyman, and so on. This is how you know the families. But it could be that there was only one link between this family and your David Cohen family that is associated with the Australian clan of Jews. They were all Jews. All Jews. I think they were probably from the group them would call Levites, right? And but if there's, I've been searching, but if there's a link, it's probably just one person that got married. But we believe that there was a link. But they were one of the biggest slave owners.
Well, We believe
but
that there's
we're not
a link
going.
because, well, I want to tell why we believe that there's a link.
We believe there's
We
a
don't want
link
to leave no
because
stones
it's a
unturned.
family name. The David Cohen is a family name. And he had a cousin or a brother by the name of Henry Hyman Cohen, and they were in business together. You understand?
And I
And
want to
so on.
pause and interject right here now, Michelle, about Mark's family and the slave ownership. You know, when William and Kate came down here, and all of you eyebrow Jamaicans who went out there to protest against William and Kate and going on and carrying on about reparations and saying all kind of nasty things about her late Majesty Queen Elizabeth II. I want to understand all of you who now lining up and supporting Mark, because somehow they out there so that day when I was a lone person out there defending the Queen, the whole on out there talk about reparations and stuff. And I want to enlighten about something. Everywhere that we turn, everywhere in these research, one of our ancestors' name come up. All of the white people them in this country, all of them, everywhere you turn, one of them name come up as slave owners. And I want to remind you that if you don't want reparations, I don't want to make up noise about who must pay for ancestors' slavery. You should start right here in this country, because those ancestors, them still living here. Generations of them still living here, sanitized and cleaned up and running good businesses and buy out the politicians and own the politicians and own the country. Every single name. We call them name because we have no angst with them. We're not calling all them names. When I was young, I used to do youth club. We had one of the biggest youth club around this area. And when I talk about youth club going out and getting stuff from business places, let me tell you, man, the business places never left no one stole and turned to help us. D&G, Ray and Nephew, Berger, all of them, every single business company, business in this country, round about our area, all of Spanish Town Road, 3 miles, all of them broke them neck to help us and gave us stuff. Grace Kennedy, all of them. So let me tell you now, uno Jamaicans, we think that the royal family, we think that monarchy and Britain own something. Or think somebody owns something, start here. Start in Jamaica. Start ask Mark Tapanari's friend them about them slave ancestors, them slave owners, ancestors.
That's where they got their start in life. That's where they got their start in life. Our ancestors.
Starting life.
The
When the
field one at
slaves
any
were
rate
free,
was thrown out. They were thrown out.
Slaves were free. The agreement was for them not only to pay the slave, them get paid. Britain paid them, America paid, everybody paid them for the slaves that they would have lost at the time when slavery was abolished. They would have lost service from the slaves. They threw out the slaves. They didn't give them anything. They didn't give them no land. They never give them no money. They just throw them out and then them hire lower brown people and feed them own class people in their businesses that they started to develop outside of a slave business. They didn't hire back the slave. They didn't pay them the money. They didn't give them the land, and that was part of the arrangement. So all the nice want to make up, all the excitement want to create about reparations. I know Britain and the monarchy. Yeah, the monarchy played a part in slavery. Nobody ever denied that. But you know, behaving as if the monarchy owned all slaves throughout the world, and then the monarchy must pay on the money because when the foreparents were slaves. When you start with those here, and if you don't want them there, we can't go to them. But they would have the answer to them, and I go turn over that apple cart, I'm going to leave it. But I'm just saying to you, I'm glad that King Charles went down to Kenya the other day, and the world was waiting for him to apologize for slavery. But my king, my very wise and smart king, did no such thing. He lamented about the gross injustice. He talked about it all. And you know what? Not only down here, never have slave ancestors like the Kenyans. And they welcomed him. They rejoiced with him. They loved him. The British families loved in Kenya. I'm saying to you, all the excitement we create about the monarchy owe money. And you must get money and reparations and a moan and a groan and a whine and a whinge about slavery. Nobody ever enslaved uno. Look within. Look at the man them what were bound out and own uno. Them I color brown man there. Their ancestors owned slaves. Now you might have heard us mention Logan Levy, Azoria, Rhodes Levy, all of that Levy clan. That's part of Mark's family from his mother's side. And Mark's mother was not born in Jamaica neither. He could have wheel and deal till him like a speed like a gig.
No, she born in Yorkshire. She born in Yorkshire. And her mother was going back. Her mother was going back about 6 trips.
The entire Levy clan is still entrenched in Yorkshire. Them still entrenched in Yorkshire society. There wasn't a Levy between 1813 or thereabout until about 1964, 65. That born in Jamaica. Not one before then. So
And if
none
you
was
want,
born here.
and if you want evidence that the Levies that were here had slaves, just look on the amount of black Levies. Where they get that the name from? They never mix. That's what they do. They got the owner's name.
Manchester, St. Elizabeth, where again? St. James.
Westmoreland, St. James.
Yeah.
Portland too. There was a Levy over by Portland.
Yeah. That's where they got that Levy name. Those slaves that the Levy owned. And it's them own Jamaica broilers. And we don't know war with them.
And the ones who were merchants, they would have like 1 and 2 person working when they were all slaves.
Yeah.
When they were claiming a whole heap of people.
Because some of you who were against Mark Golding and was out there protesting against William and Kate. Now me soon line up behind Mark Golding. I want to talk about reparations and the monarchy. Start this, man. Start by asking Mark family for some reparations. For the Levy people, them, the black Levy, them. Like my friend Joy, we got in New York. Ask about them before they go over to Britain. Right?
Well,
so to get that thing on the head. Mark mother was born in Yorkshire. And there isn't one Levy from her line that was born in Jamaica before 1964. Not one. Before 1964. And this document that this thing was saying that about 5 or 6 of them between 64 and 72 wasn't born here, but we're not too sure about that, so we're not going to talk about it. So let's just stick to the 64 because we have evidence of that. So they were born here. Mother never born here. Him grandfather never born here. Him grandmother never born here. None of them never born
here. One grandmother born in Yorkshire and the other one born in Alice Jefferson. And then what is funny, them trying to ingratiate Mark, you know who politicians, you know,
Mark's
she was born in Yorkshire. She was born in Yorkshire.
It's paternal grandmother.
Paternal grandmother. She was born in Australia. She was the granddaughter of the grandniece of Uncle Louis. Remember Uncle Louis, the rich man?
And Louis was the multi-millionaire.
Right.
In today's money, look what Louis had valued $250,000 in those days.
£250,000.
More than 50. That would be about $6 billion now, or a little over $6 billion now in today's money.
Now,
and if any of you oldsters would remember Louis Department Store. Remember Louis Department Store? When Louis Department Store closed them doors, sometime in the 1990s. But that was his store. He was the one with the piss pot load of money who would not help his nephews to fund their education. And when he died, he left a trust, a will to say that he distributed his money among some charities. Right, Michelle?
In Liverpool, they were supposed to distribute his money among charities in Liverpool.
What I want to get at is the fact that he died and left the money to charities. Yes. Not a cent to his poor Australian family. Not even 1 cent. But he did the most wicked and cruelest thing. The most wicked and cruelest thing Mark ancestor did. That's where Mark get all them cruel and wicked street from. Not only did the man left the money to the charities and never left none for him poor Australian families. He left the boys to oversee and distribute this charity money.
Now, the thing about it is, the boys went back to Australia and built a fountain in honor of their father, who was a politician, right? The family did that. So when they're doing anything, they're not doing anything for the benefit. They're doing whatever they're doing for the benefit of themselves.
Yeah.
This is an uncle,
And
this is an uncle. Just a second, Karen. Hold on, Karen.
Michelle, hold on. Look at the one who started the war, who was funding the war.
That's what I was about to talk about. It's the same Ben, which is Mark's great grandfather, right? That's his grandmother's father. So it's his great grandfather, Benjamin Wolfe Levy, and his brother or his cousin.
Wars in Africa.
They were supposed to be hold on, Karen, man. They were supposed to be distributing the Uncle Lewis's wealth to charities in Liverpool and I think Manchester, because I think he had some connection there, right? And instead,
Manchester, England, that is.
They took a portion of the money to finance, not an entire finance, but a contribution, and encourage Australia to go and help Britain with these white people who now run, Arabs who run Egypt, to go into the Sudan, because Egypt had controlled Sudan for a period. And when Britain and Egypt got into a to-do because of the Suez Canal, and British went and bust them close, the Muslims who were the black people in Sudan took advantage of the fact that Egypt was in disarray to take over their country. So what did these white people do? Then gang together, right? England with the Arabs in Egypt and Australia to try and subdue the Sudanese in order so that them white people in Egypt would control Sudan again from the black people.
What year was that again?
And he financed that.
What year was that?
That was 1892. He also went and made a contribution for the Australians to enter the Boer War. That Boer War was in South Africa, right? That's what him did. That fella never take $1 and donate it to do anything at all for any black people. So you don't have to ask what kind of people you are talking about.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah.
So so that is that side of the family.
So
maybe we covered everybody.
Benjamin Wolfe Levy was also the one that was working towards black people not getting independence anywhere.
Well, certainly, because if the Sudanese had succeeded at that time, it would have inspired all of the African countries to sue for them independence. So in order to keep them in check, and I'm almost sure that these people don't do nothing unless they have some interest. There must be some interest, and that part of Sudan has a lot of gold. That is what he wanted.
But what Benjamin wanted was for Egypt to regain control of Sudan.
That's right.
Maybe
and then
that's how he's making money. Maybe that's how he's making money. Since we don't know him making money, that's how he's making money.
Yes, and that now is because they wanted to keep the British Empire as it is. You understand?
Yeah.
By not allowing any country controlled by these European powers from getting independence. Yeah. That was Benjamin Levy, right?
Yes.
That was his antecedents.
Well,
and this is it. These are the blood. These are the bloodline that is running through Mark. So when you see Mark behave some little weird way, mean, that was his great grandfather Joseph, who was struggling, right? When you see him cruel, that was his uncle. That's his uncle. Uncle Louis stand up in him, right? As you know, so Jewish people know how to make money, and him love money, and don't believe for 1 second that he's there for save no black people. Because he cannot. The reason why Mark.
Hold on, Michelle. A member of Mark's constituency went to Mark last Christmas and asked Mark for some help to put together some packages for some senior citizens. And Mark told her that, you know, I'm going to try to get it somewhere because I'm stretch.
I'm stretched. I'm stretched. Right?
That's Marky G for you. Now, let us, well, you notice I am sidestepping some things. Let's see if we can tie in some of that now with what Zara Burton piece on Mark Golding's what he left out of his IC submission, and why we believe that he's a part of the six that illicit six that everybody talking about, because we don't believe he has submitted everything. And you, Michelle, and some members of you and one other member of the research team had discussions with people from the IC, and we got a massive amount of information as to what the requirements are and how them operate. Is that true?
Yes, that person is very knowledgeable.
Very knowledgeable, yeah.
Didn't
And talk to us. Tell the comments. Break down Zara briefly, please, and not too much. Just give.
Well, what she was saying, and this is from October of 2022. She was asking questions, having gone, and she's an investigative journalist and our best, I must say.
She is very, very good. I want to big her up. I want to encourage her. I want to tell her that we have some of the best researchers over this side. If she needs any help at all from the resistance, we are willing to help her, because we can access information from some places that nobody that even never look for her. Dear Zara, so you know.
So she went and did some research and found that Mark and his wife. Well, let's start with the Tajebe, Tajebe,
and we believe that that company was named after his 3 children. Tell them why.
We think that it's the first 2 letters of the children's name. The first one is Tasvin, so it's T-A. Second one is Jessica, J-E, and the boy is Benjamin, so it's B-E. So we think that is how he came up with that name.
Oh, yeah.
And although Tajiba, I discover, is an Ethiopian name too. Don't know what it means though. But that was what I did. Yeah. No. That was not his intention.
Yeah,
we would know about Egypt.
No, that was not his intention.
It's just coincidental.
No. His intention was to set up a company that would own the shares that he owns in Proven without his name being attached to it. That was his intention.
And he registered the company in the British Virgin Islands based upon what Zara found out.
Yeah.
And she found out though that the company owns a house that he's in. And I think red flags went up for me as well when I observed that he was not declaring any real property. No. So he wanted us to believe that all of his money put it in securities, which don't even make no sense.
Well, I'm going to pause. The house that he lives in at Farringdon, according to him, what he told Zara, he said he bought the house from?
Bought the house from a man named Christopher. No, she didn't tell her that. She researched it.
We found that out. Oh, we found that out. All right.
Christopher Harris, and he bought it for 10 million. So he was supposed to have declared the original value and give an estimate of the current value, right? But he said he did not own the house. He said he didn't own the house.
Yeah, he said he don't own the house. I get it. But we don't know who's Christopher. What's his last name?
Christopher Harris, but it don't matter. He was a previous owner. He bought it from the previous owner, right?
Who was the previous owner?
Christopher Harris.
And who was the previous owner before Christopher Harris?
We don't know. I don't know that.
We do believe that it was Mark's father. We believe that the house was owned by John Golding. We believe that that is the house that the British gave John Golding to live in when he came to Jamaica. We're not too sure yet, but we will get there in terms of how it went into the hands of Christopher, and what was the agreement for Mark to buy back a $100 million house for 10 million from Mr. Christopher. So we're going to find that out soon.
Well, it certainly appears to me that I'm not sure, but I'm trying to wrap my brain to recall what houses in that area would have been sold for. But that 10 million looked like it was not
No,
what is
man.
known in real estate
No, no,
as
let me tell you. No, no.
it
Hold
doesn't
on a
appear
minute.
to be an arm's length
No.
arrangement. You know, they call it arm's length deal.
There are no houses starting from that gas station going up that hill that are below 60 million.
No,
None.
we're talking about but we're talking about in 2001, I think.
It
Right?
doesn't
That's when I
matter.
was
It
in
doesn't
real
matter.
estate.
You were in real estate. Real estate is
Yeah,
about
that
location.
it
It
never got
goes
sell
no
for
down.
10 million.
Yeah.
Unless it was a really rundown
No,
house. I mean, it have to be
no,
really rundown.
no,
Right?
not 10 million.
But
I
anyway,
think I'm going to prove that his father owned that house, and we don't know how Christopher got it, and how we got it back for that 10 million. But go on, because Sherry's on that. Go ahead.
so anyway, he said he didn't own the house. So it's a company that owns the house. But he let on to Zara that, Zara went and did the search because it's registered in the BVI. You would not get access to who it is that owns the company. This is why I believe there needs to be a law that these people must not invest. Once them in a certain position, they must invest them, set up them company in a place where you can see who is behind this company, right? So he went and he set it up there. So she went and drew the transfer. I'm sure that's what she did. And the transfer would show the signatures of who it was that signed. And it was he and his wife signed as directors. So she quizzed him about it and he said, yes, they were directors. And up to 2021, he and his wife were the sole shareholders, which means them own the company that owns the asset. So it's a share value. I imagine what they would declare is a share value, right? Because they're the only ones who are going to, when them sell it, and not me go and get it, and not you go and get it. It's those who are the shareholders who will get the distribution of the asset minus whatever liabilities. And that don't sound like a company.
But that would be children.
Well, no, he said he has transferred it to the company to his children. And by the way, children, because you are now the shareholders, they can kick off daddy and mommy off there and fire them, right? And then going to tell you
Well, we
about
don't think. I don't think. I am the only one out of the team that believes this. That I don't think Sandra have a clue about these things. I think they just give her them things if a sign.
Yes.
I think Sandra is clueless about all of them things that were named upon. I don't think she have any real power in all of that. So,
but the point is, Mark is making out to Zara that at some future date when you meet some sort of criteria set down, una will be main director, una shareholder, una can kick a shareholder, una can fire the two of them and appoint on yourself. You know, your children? Now make that again, no chat. Because you're a shareholder now. Anyhow, so that is what he told Zara. Now, I went and I was looking to see if he had shares because I don't recall seeing his name on the proven shareholding list. Lo and behold, there is Tajibe Limited on the shareholders list, owning about 10 million shares, right? Which he and his wife own that Tajibe company. Up from, at least from, he bought the property, I think it's 2001. So Tajibe existed from before he came to the Senate. But then Proven existed, 2010?
Yeah.
And so Proven, he would have been a shareholder at that time, based upon what he told Zara.
Yeah, so therefore he should have declared it.
So when I look on, and I don't know if I was reading right, one at the time when, Proven is on the up and then declare what the share value was, I thought I said something looked like 23 cents. When you do US cents, when you do the calculation, it means that the shares at Mark at Tajibe hold up to last year or the year before, value something like 2.9 million US. And I don't think I saw that declare because 2.9 million US is what, 300 million just for that company alone. And he was declaring assets of
talk about all the other companies that are hiding in trust and blind trust. Can't do nobody find nothing. So
yeah, but what I'm saying is, based upon the declaration that he made of his securities, the trust, I saw something like 109,000.
Yeah.
But based upon what was declared for proven, right, in terms of the share value, is 2.9 million those shares will be valued. But him not
All right,
sell them out there.
let me ask a question now.
And so it seems as if it wasn't declared. Of course,
All right, so let me ask you a
I think
question.
it's his.
Let me ask you a question now, because the person you spoke to at IC, that you and Sherry spoke to at IC, so you and Sherry have the same argument. When you brought up those things to that person, what did she say?
She was saying, I think she said that them had to declare, he had to declare these things to them. And if it was in trust, he had to declare the trust. The trust is not going to show on the title that he has a trust, right? However, because the law prevents the titles office, the registrar, from placing that the owner, you're the owner, in full-blown owner. That's it. Then no business about whether you hold the property in trust. That is not supposed to show on the title. That's the law. However, once you declare to the registrar that may I hold this property here in trust, then the registrar is supposed to put a caveat on the title to make sure that the person who is the trustee as well as the benefactor, they don't do anything against the trust. When I look at the title, I don't see any notification that there was a caveat on it. So
No,
I don't know. No, so I don't know, and I don't know what explanation Mark gave to the IC if them investigated or what. But them said them gave them a
I'm on them radar. I'll provide them information.
I suspect so.
Mark also did not declare a house he owns in Florida, in Dade County.
Yes, and it's estimated that he might be getting $2,200 in rent per month, US.
Getting $2,200 per rent, for rent. I didn't print that.
Oh,
we have a picture of the place. We have a picture of the place. It's a nice house down in
Pembroke Pines, I believe.
Huh?
I believe it's in Pembroke Pines.
Pines, yes, it is. And it looks like there is some kind of water thing behind it. It looks like there's some kind of ocean thing.
A pool.
No, there is like a lake or something. Yeah.
Oh.
It don't look like a full bed sea, but it look like that. And he did not declare that either. He also owns, Mark Golin also owns a property in Ferry Hill in Portland, in Lower Fair Prospect in Portland. We have everything. We have the value and the folio number, the valuation number, the property size, and it is listed as the owners as Mark and Sandra Golden in Portland. It's a subdivision. It's a subdivision.
And just in case you have any doubt, it has Mark Jefferson Golding and Sandra's full name. She's a housewife and he's a lawyer. And that they live a Farringdon. So there is no doubt about it. So the risers, yes.
And the risers, them can't count. Maybe them can't follow things like this. Them can't count. Because nothing add up for them.
No, not add up. Not add up.
Maybe this will add up for them that Mark Golden owns a property in Florida, which he has not declared. And he owns a property down in Lower Fair Prospect, Fairville. I'm going to go down there, see? I'm going to go up Portland, you see? And he has his property, 1,507 square meters, and he owns a property, and he has not declared that property. It's a subdivision.
In his own name. He has it in his own name, so you can't really say.
And his wife's name, and it listed his address as that Farringdon address.
He can't claim says not his now.
He can't say nothing.
And by the way, hold on, let us get this thing straight. Because Marissa Dalrymple had her thing with the car, right? 2.something million US Benz Mercedes from 2017, I believe. This property was bought by Mark and his wife. We have to say the wife, because if there's a divorce, she's entitled to have. This property was bought by Mark and his wife. All right, she can swim behind if she decides. You can swim behind and get half a year, Sandra. If there's a divorce and they not treat you nice, but him say treat you nice. Anyhow,
never used to treat her nice before him to lead at the PMP.
Of course, that is all a show. We don't bother want to get into that.
And then PJ tell him that it is very important that he walk around in black white to show
Oh,
up
yes.
in blackness.
And
Well, I
to
want to
show
go
up.
into that little part. I want to go into that little part
Just a second,
No, when
Karen.
you finish, just wrap that up.
2015 was when he bought that property, right? So between 2015, we don't know if he was declaring it before, but certainly, and Zara was trying to find out from him if he had declared it, and he can't give her no answer, right? And she was trying to find out from the IC gentleman, and him, of course, can't give her no answer.
No, I can't.
Because they're not allowed to. So
And
from 2015, him owned that property.
We're very persuasive, and I'm not giving an answer now.
He bought the property for 15,000 US.
Yeah.
And certainly last year, him have zero assets in real estate.
They have no real estate. No.
I'm going
to repeat it. That's what I'm going to repeat this. Last year in Mark Golden's declaration to the IC, he told the IC that he has zero because it's a farm. It's a very complex, complete farm. It's a big farm, asking every single question that can be asked. So Mark Golden had the opportunity to look at that farm and declare his real estate asset. He declared zero. So when the camera went out and talk about how Mark has been cleared by the IC and Mark this and Mark that, that was a lie. Mark owns 2 property which he has not declared. Then he owns a foreign property through a company which he has not declared. So he's not declaring anything. We also believe that there are more properties that Mark Golden owns, maybe through the FinSac thing. We figure that some of the properties that Bunting them using proven to develop might be some of the FinSac property thing, and we will find out. Promise you know, we're going to find out on a can't hide, because if paper trail dead, we will find it. Finish up that now, Michelle. Let me.
Yeah, I think it's so on the face of it, and we're not pretending that we know more than the IC. Of course, it was brought to their attention, but I don't know if it was brought officially by Zara. She was just asking questions, right? But at any rate, on the face of it, it seems as if the and the IC is very, very they're not rough on these politicians. When you see them go after them, it's because they have given them an opportunity to clear up themselves and they have not. So I think there was a talk about him having some issue about the Farrington house, and they went and certified him, so them say, right? But of course that may not mean anything. Them probably behind the scenes and do them investigations based upon what he told them.
I want to ask something else.
So on the face,
based on what, just remember what you're saying. I don't want to forget this point. Based on what we know now and what we have disclosed now, and you comparing some of it with what happened to Mrs. Dalrymple, what you're saying?
yes,
same thing. So both of them should be held to the same standard.
Well, yes, but remember, they probably investigate what they can't say what they're doing. But the point is that on the face of it, it appears as though you see, Zara even went and asked, is it possible, because the house is owned by a company, maybe he did not declare it. Remember, no, he and his wife didn't own it. It's a company that owns it, and he owns a share of the company. So is it possible that he declared the asset under a different heading, which would be that he would have declared it as assets under securities, because I guess the company shares would be part of the securities, right? And the man can't tell her nothing about that either. You understand? So on the face of it, it appears as though his securities may also be understated, right? He may have been understated. He might be one of them people thinking bright and is advising himself rather than get accountant for doing thing for him. I don't know. But
they are investigating him. They just can't say that they are.
But if the proof on asset is 23 cents US, right? That's the value of it, because that's how you would do it. You work out the share value, and you multiply the 10 million, and it's 2.9 million US. That share value up until that time, it ought to have been in his up until 2010. No, man, I'm
About in
talking about
20,
last year when he
last,
made the declaration last year,
yeah,
right? And they went
2019.
and put out that the shares is and up to, well, the year before he said that he transferred the ownership to the children from 2021. That would have been the time now when he's supposed to be declaring all these things, right? But he was supposed to have been declaring it from before. It's just that we wouldn't know anything about it because, it's only the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition's declaration that are, the summary are made public.
Yeah.
So in my view, in 2021, he ought to have declared the 2.9 million or thereabouts on the securities. Instead, he's declaring only 2 million. He's declaring only 2 million. He has 109 million in securities and declaring only 2 million profit, I suppose, on it. That don't even make no sense.
Him get that from him Uncle Louis
Yes, he's very crafty.
yeah, him get that
Poor
from him
Andrew.
Uncle Louis. And
Poor Andrew.
him get that from Uncle Louis and what the next one name?
Uncle Louis and always all of them, man.
Yeah, but
Uncle Louis.
Uncle Louis in particular. Him get those
Uncle
things
Louis.
from Uncle
Yeah,
Louis.
man.
I'm trying to find where the other one. Everything is
Crafty,
mixed.
man.
Them very cheap and very crafty. Anyway,
But
it's 10:30 now, and I want to just wrap up some things. The final thing we want to talk about with Mark Golding now, and this is the most important part we're talking about, is it Mark Golding and his wife. Now, we found that we can get a birth certificate for anybody if you have the person's date of birth and place of birth. You can get a birth certificate. Anybody can apply for a birth certificate for somebody. And you can access information and all of that. But for some strange reason, here is something that we want you to understand and know. For over a year now, Comrade Princess and some other comrades have been saying that Sandra Golding is not 62. Now, if Sandra Golding is 62, then I'm 90. Truly, I am 90. And Sandra Golding, according to the Electoral Office, was born on, Michelle?
July 17, 1961.
July 17, 1961. That would make her 62 years old this past July. Now I'm asking you, the PNP people in the wider Jamaica, does Sandra Golding look 62 to you? According to some sources, Sandra Golding was pregnant at age 15, according to some sources. Mark and Sandra was married in 1990. What month was that?
June 22.
You were just really that often. June 22nd, 1990. They were both married. If she was 15 at the time when they got married, her first daughter is now Michelle.
No, all we have to do is add the 33 years to 15. She should be around 48.
How was the first daughter?
The first daughter?
Yeah.
She born 1990, so she should be 33.
She was born 6 days after they were married. 6 days. And what we have found is very, very interesting. Now I can tell you what I have been told by human sources. People whose parents used to work for Mark. Mark's father, Mark's relatives. And we were told that Sandra got pregnant at age 15. She was young. One person who worked as a security guard at one of the Goldings had an apartment
near the U.S. Embassy. I think it's Oakwood or something like that, or Oakland. I forgot what it's called. Something like that. It's a townhouse, number one.
Yeah, a townhouse round that end. And Sandra used to go there, and she was pregnant. And the person that used to come there pregnant was a schoolgirl, of age 15 or thereabouts, according to the security guards. Mark and Sandra got married in Florida. In Florida. They got married in Florida. God knows why. He was away on scholarship in England, and he came home, I think, for some holidays or something like that, and it was a whole mix-up. But according to the human sources, she was pregnant around 15, and they went away to Florida and got married. And the first daughter was born 6 days later. Do we have any proof of that? Not yet. But let us look at Sandra and find out if she's 62. Because I'd love to look at like Sandra at 62. Why did he go to Florida for married Sandra? Was she 15? How old was she when they got married? Really? Do we have any other marriage pictures? Because we can't find none. And
they should have been heavily pregnant. Should have been heavily
she
pregnant.
Would have been heavily pregnant. She would have been. She gave birth 6 days later. We can't find any. There's nothing about that. According to the human sources, when Sandra got pregnant, it was John Golding who forced him to marry Sandra because he didn't want to. He was rebelling against it. Hell bent no. His father, being his usual tricky self, trying to protect his image as the man who saved Jamaica from polio, and him is Sir Golding, and him have the order of Jamaica, and him build this and him build that, protecting his reputation, and told Mark in non-certain terms that he have to marry her. The mother was against it. The mother thought that it was a cruel act for his father to force him to marry the black Elba girl daughter, the Elba woman daughter. And we find these things very peculiar. We have I believe everything our human sources tell us. They have no reason to lie to us. You know, children and grandchildren of people who work with them. How he treated her, how Mark treated Sandra, like she's a helper. How he talked to her, how the two girls them treat her, how them deal with her. It's just lately, when we search their social media footprint, it's just since Mark became leader of the opposition, we have seen them wish their mother happy birthday, and any of their pages hit them up happy birthday to all kinds of people and all kinds of things. They treat their mother, according to one source, like dog. And it fit into the mold. Sandra looked like she just get away out of the Zoom the other day when the leader of the opposition, she started getting some new clothes and all of that. So that is the information we have. We are not going to stop until we get that birth certificate. But it goes to show the lengths that he has gone through to cover his tracks. With the help of his father, of course, and his father's attorneys and all of them who help him. We would like to see Sandra Golding real birth certificate. That's to be on the voters list, you have to have a birth certificate. You have to have a birth certificate, but if it's Mark Golding. So we know how corrupt this country can be. So we're not putting it past them that she could have been on the voters list without that birth certificate. We're not putting it past them because Mark Golding's family and Mark Golding himself, they have gone through so much to cover their footprint. Mark Golding had a relative who owned some property in St. James. Michelle, remember me. And this one relative owned part of the shares of the estate that Sam Sharp was on, Kensington Estate. Kensington Estate came up with a lot of levies. And one of them was a shareholder who sold his shares just a tad bit before slavery was abolished. Sold his shares and went away to England. We are going to divulge more on that because we waited to get information, more information on that. Because the governors of Jamaica, the last governor before independence, he took everything with him. I mean, everything. That is why Jamaica don't have much documentation about the slave owners and those who live here and prosper here now, whose parents and grandparents and great-grandparents owned slaves, because the last British governor before independence took everything to England. So is England going to be getting all of these things from? But that Kensington estate, Mark Golding's relative had ownership in it, and he sold that share a couple of months before slavery was abolished. We are telling you that this man, Mark Golding, is not a nice person. His ancestry is what made him. You know, all of us have DNAs of our parents, and somebody will tell us, you look like your papa, or you do somebody, and somebody said, just like your mother. I used to go and say something like that, somebody said, just like your father. Well, Mark Golding is an exact replica of his ancestors. Exact. Everything nasty and mean.
They were not nice. They were not
nice people. And don't believe that we weren't looking for nice people. There was one of Mark's ancestors who married a 13-year-old girl. Marry her in Florida. I think in Florida, married Michelle?
No, 15. Don't know what I married, but he married her. Got her pregnant. Shotgun wedding.
He got her pregnant first, and then they had a shotgun wedding. That sounds like the one where Mark had with Sandra. So history repeats itself all the time to our own ancestry. People tell me that my passion for community, my passion for helping people, my passion and all that. People tell me I get that from my mother. Thank God for Jesus. I never knew my father. I don't know who him is, I don't know where him is, I don't know where he come from. All of the auntie them have everybody have some different story. But I don't care. I got that from my mother. My gift of gab, them said I know where me get that from because my mother wasn't that chatting. So maybe that came from him. You know? But I'm saying that everything that encompassed Mark Golding came from his ancestry. Slave owners.
And how he's responding to the environment around him. It's exactly how they would have responded.
Exactly.
You are your ancestors. You can't be different from them.
You can't be different from them. You're their bloodline. And it doesn't get weaker, it actually gets stronger. Scientists proving that now. Their bloodline don't thin out, it actually repeats itself. So somebody that you had born in 16th century, your grandpicked the born and it look like your uncle was born in the 16th century. So it doesn't go away. Everything about Mark Golding is what his ancestors were. And that is clear, right? So I'm saying to Jamaica that when his ancestor decided that they're going to start war in Sudan and get the Sudanese people to war with them, wanted to give back Egypt control of Sudan. That's classical Mark Golding in what he's doing to the PMP. So I'm saying in closing now to Jamaican people, this man, Mark Jefferson Golding, there's so much more. There's just so much more tonight can't cover it. And you cannot hand over this country to this man. I know I have issues with Andrew Holness, and I'm not campaigning for Andrew Holness, and I know where the arguments are in that respect. But my conscience, and the spirit of my mother, and the song that never met for Michael Manley, in that spirit will not allow me to be a part of rewarding Mark Golding for what he has done and he is.
And his ancestors.
And his ancestors, you the PNP people went and elected him. And this is what you get. This is what you get. Labor rights playing PNP song and them thing. Embarrassment, shame and disgrace from Mark Golding. The first and most important act of treachery and betrayal that Mark Golding committed is when he decided to remove the Manley name from PNP history by unilaterally naming a new founder for the PNP after 80 years and 4 generations of PNP history, knowing that Norman Manley is our founder. You can't trust Jamaica to him, you don't know where we're going to with it. If we will do that to the People's National Party. The second thing he did was strip away the democratic norms. That does not suit him. Anything that does not suit him, he stripped it away. Electing, set up this committee that handpicked by him, that will ensure him the results that he wanted, handpicking and securing regional chairman and secretary that support him. Proof that the disciplinary committee, that who is it? The disciplinary committee, the one he set up, went to the executive meeting, and they proposed to the executive meeting that I be suspended from the PNP. For what I don't know, but they their recommendation was for a suspension. Mark Golding told them he didn't want a suspension, he wanted an expulsion. He just come to the PNP the other day, he served a party for 40 years, and just a whim, because I don't support him, and I will never support him, him decide that he's going to expel me from the PNP. This is the man you do not want to hand over Jamaica to. I make sure write everything. I don't want to talk off or just talk off of my head like that. What he has done to his own wife, how he has treated his own wife. You Jamaican women, and women love to vote more than men. You're going to sift that through by yourself. You're going to figure that out and ask what manner of a man is this. He has corrupted every institution, every norm and practice in the PNP. He has corrupted it to suit him, for him to stay in power, to have people around him that support him. And when I think about it, and I was saying to the research team today earlier, I was saying, I dread and I fear Mark Golding being in charge of this government. I mean, that may look at the phone going there. That's true. It's going to 1%. I better try and plug it in. I dread and I fear Mark Golding being in charge of this country. And you should not allow him to be in charge of this country. Huh? So that is what I want to say to you, Jamaica. Do not give Mark Golding the keys to this country. I'm back here. Do not give Mark Golding the keys to this country. You cannot give him the keys to this country because you can't trust him. Look what he has done to the People's National Party, a small organization with what 40,000 members, and you want to hand over 1.2 million people to him. You want to hand over institutions to him, all the institutions that the Prime Minister will have a hand in naming, chairman of board, the services commissions, the various organizations, naming the police commissioner, naming people to aid bodies. You want to put Mark Golding in charge of that? You can't. You simply cannot put Mark Golding in charge of that. Look how he has handled the choosing of candidates for constituency, bypassing the delegate process, disregarding the delegates in the party, by naming who he wants to keep his power. Look how he handled the matter of Southeast St. Anne with Lisa Hanna. Look how he handled Lisa Hanna. Look how he went down there and took back councillors who said that they were leaving because he wanted to get rid of Lisa Hanna. Look how he has treated Philip Paulwell, a former minister, former chairman of the party, former chairman for Region 3. Look how he has handled those internal matters in an organization of 40,000 people. Look at those things. All know him don't publicly say, boy, Philip Paulwell is a good comrade. Now, that's fact, the statement that they put out, they never even call Philip Paulwell a comrade. They refer to him as MP Paulwell or MP Philip Paulwell or Philip Paulwell. Just look at those things. Digest what we have shared with you tonight. And look at all the things that he has done to destroy the People's National Party And then you, the Jamaican voters, you then decide if you want to let this man in charge of your country, if you want to put the future of your children in the hands of this man who has everything, every blood that running through his veins is that of his ancestors. The one that married the 15-year-old because him got her pregnant. The one that sold his shares in the Kensington estate a few months before slavery was abolished. The one that financed the war down in Sudan to keep Egypt in power and kill off black people and get them and keep them enslaved. Think about his father who came here straight from England talking about he was on his way to America when his one ship him come on, and that one ship was heading to Jamaica and other Caribbean nations. That one ship wasn't heading anywhere else. He was on his way to Jamaica to come inject and infect poor people with them virus to give himself fame. He came here with his money. He never have no money. It is the British government that gave him money. He was an intelligent agent from the British intelligence. It was a war them time. It was a run jostle by America and Britain and Russia and France to see who can exert themselves and get world dominance now that they have toppled it. Well, they never toppled it like kill himself. Well, they toppled him, yeah. You look at that man very carefully. Because I see you Jamaican people, all over, the voters,
No, not get chance.
who have a bad reputation
Give man
of choosing
chance.
Huh?
They have a bad reputation of choosing the worst persons. They might give man chance, like it's a gamble thing. This
give man
is
chance,
not up.
but we are giving man their chance.
And then ball later about how the man
Stop
suffer.
Play fast and fancy. We don't put them future.
Let me remind them, Karen, just in case you don't understand. You see the power of the Prime Minister only got more power than him in Jamaica. Right? He operates within a cabinet, but he's the king or the emperor. The Prime Minister is the one who chooses a governor general.
Yeah.
This man is a man who puts, same going to surround himself with tapanaris. And since we don't have no tapanaris coming through the parliament, through the seats, the MP seats, there are 4 seats that he can establish through the Senate. So he can bring 4 tapanaris into his government. And he will surround himself with tapanaris. The Governor General, the Solicitor General, the DPP is coming up for appointment. She not going to stay there. So him going to be the one to appoint the DPP.
Commissioner of Police.
Him going to be the one to appoint the Commissioner of Police. Right?
Services Commission.
The Services Commission which going to indirectly now deal with all the promotions and movements of people. You think you see thieving yet? You think you see thieving yet? You see how he's slick with how he's operating his decorations. You see him slick before Andrew should I go ask him a few questions? He would have whatever problem he seemed to be having with it. Getting his thing passed, right? No, this is a man who, inside of the People's National Party, has an organization known as Rise United. And we've been warning them and telling the MPs, move the man. You have sufficient ground to move the man because of the sabotage that they led against the PNP. The evidence is there. Now they might give him a chance to face the electoral. Well, then upon them own. You understand? Them upon their own. Now, this man is operating the PNP, undermine almost every institution of the party, almost all of them. Set it up with these risers, because that is his organization, operating under the umbrella of the PNP, wearing the colors, calling himself comrades. But his tapanaris is going to surround himself with, right? There are about 190 government bodies. What you call them?
Agencies. Agencies and boards.
Boards and so on. So they are the ones who will be appointing persons to those boards. That's where the tapanar is going to go. UDC, these cash cows, this property cow, UDC, you have the NHT, you have the Hard Trust, you have the Duns River, a whole heap of money and a whole heap of property. This man, right? And nobody fees him going there if he can't help you, because him certainly not nobody. He cannot show you any public service that he has done during the time when he was in the private sector. That's why I keep running to him father and talking about what his family do.
Him father not good, because if him father is good, he would be good. He may set up nothing. Him
Well,
do set up a thing.
That was a
not even
first
one
rat.
charity. I remember I said to Bunting one time, man, we set up one charity organization to go fix house of poor people, no? And he looked at me in a strange, weird way. He looked at Bunting, I said it to. And the man looked at me in a strange, weird way. I said, you can take $10 million, put it down, I told him $20 million, put that one fund and say, all right, you're going to look some money upon that and make us start help poor people fix them house. Those who have also fixed and those who can help them build back one. The man looked at me in a strange way.
Because that is not what they're about. They're not there to help poor people. You think they spend for over $500 million to help poor people?
You remember the part when him talk about when him say him want to him not going to give handouts, him want people to
yes, they're not into handouts, they're into lift up.
What a face to white bitch.
Then what about those people who are hungry?
Only the tapaнаris and them the tapaнаris get handouts. And we do the work.
Hear this now? You see, when slavery was abolished, me read it. The Rothschild and another group of Jews in Britain, who had arranged for the British government to get the money to pay them same people who were owned the slave then.
Yeah.
Right? And then guess what? Britain just done pay a fee in 2015.
Yeah.
Then just the loan, but then take them. And I can't talk about people that get handout.
Mark, I talk about handout. Only the tapaнаris and the rich people them get handout, you know.
Who get more handout than them?
And we do the work. And we do all the work. Our four parents and we do the work.
And then
government. Who don't have money now in the pocket. And who don't get the handout.
And then I get the handout. I want government to give them all kind of incentive. Mark in a budget.
Out of order, I talk about handout. Just Mark going in rank and face. I don't know why someone don't box him when him talk them things there.
When Mark was in his budget speech, he mentioned about three different incentives he's going to give. One of them to the hotel. If you want the hotel, if you want people to get access to land, you pass a damn law. If you want the hotel them to behave a certain way and they're not behaving, so you pass a law. You don't give them incentive. Where you give them incentive for?
You're giving them incentive. And let me remind you that some of those hotels do not have union. The workers don't have no rights. Them depend on them own in some of those hotels. And he want to give more incentive to them. That's why I said people go listen to him speech.
Capitalist. Yeah. He want the trickle-down economics, which the labor right them look like them are run for at least I don't want to mention. Right? Them at least talk about socialist policy.
I want to want one final thing before I go. The Jamaican voters don't have, there's no history to suggest that the Jamaican voters worry about corruption or even vote on corruption. They don't. The Jamaican voters don't vote for people. They vote against people. And as Michelle said, they're always talking about them want to give a man a chance. Because them try with a man, yeah. And them going to try with the next man. And them always go swap black dog for monkey.
And run out of the frying pan into the fire.
The JP is not in the greatest of shape. There's a place in St. Mary down in Gale called Jeffreytown. And somebody showed me a road with a name on it and told me that Mr. Montague named the road after him daughter. Must be a favorite child. And Mr. Montague named the road after him daughter. And I said to the group of men that I was talking, that was telling me that, I said to them, so who vote for the last time? So we're straight PNP, you know, but we never vote, you know. The reason why I was up in that end was because while Robert Montague have a solid 9,000 or so votes that he can bring out for him, he can bring them out if he mobilize himself properly. There is an additional 4,000 or 5,000 votes that PNP have never brought out, and some of it up that end. And here was about 9, 10 people I spoke to who never vote. Never voted in 2016, never voted in 2020. And I said to them, say, so who have problem with Mr. Montague naming the road after him down. Anybody have any problem with it? He said, we not a problem now. I mean, me not vote, you know, me a PMP, me not vote, but me not a problem. So I said, does it bother you that he named the road after his daughter? No, you know, she nice, you know. Him daughter nice. Then I said to the labor rights, because I'm buying the drinks, so we can talk, and when the rubber flow, everybody talk. So I said to the labor rights, when the victim Mr. Montague named the road after him daughter. No, you know, hear this. What we want Mr. Montague to do, you know, them segue right into something else. Watch me, you know. If they, no, you know, but what we want Mr. Montague to do is, you get me? It doesn't matter. Them don't care about that. Voters care. I was listening this morning to Morning Joe and Stephanie Rule, who's very, very good at analyzing the U.S. economy, said that the U.S. economy is growing, the U.S. economy is steady, it's improving, inflation is down, but nobody not, but the people who are supposed to feel it now feel it, because food price is still high. Gasoline still high. Them interviewed one woman who moved from Hawaii and bought a house in North Dakota and paying more for her mortgage than she did in Hawaii. Now try and imagine that. Hawaii is an exotic, sought after place of people living in. It's an high-end place to live. And you move from Hawaii to escape that high-end cost and move to a puppy show place like North Dakota and paying more for your mortgage. That is what them care about. And that is what the Jamaican people care about. Feed them life. Feed them life. Kitchen table issues. Kitchen table issues. The rice, the chicken, the cost of it. So the cook can go buy chicken this morning. Tell me it's $380 pound for chicken. I wanted to lick him and text I tell. But when I call down there and say $380 feet for chew. You know? Those are the issues that people care about. When you tell people about how corrupt the government is and how much money them teeth, you know what they say? The whole of them teeth, you know.
See me.
The whole of them teeth. But you know what the labor rights them say down that end? Why are you, man? If a man got teeth money, I'm going to teeth and them teeth the money. Yeah, but them not make nothing reach way. That is what people care about.
That's what they care about.
If Andrew Hollis in any kind of problems, and I'm sure he is, he would be wondering how he's going to make some of that money where people think him thief reach the people, because that's them care about. While the PMP sit back waiting and hoping that enough people hate Andrew Hollis to want to vote for them. It doesn't work that way. Risers, if it now add up food, you need to learn to count. It doesn't work that way. No. Them not gonna run to Uno because them vex about some IC report and would never come out. Because Mark in that 6. I assure you that Mark is in that 6. And if he wasn't before we spoke to them, he is now. Because there are about 2 different things that I told Michelle we're not saying. We want to leave the element of surprise for another time. There are about 2 different things. Market, G, have property all over the damn place. That he's not declaring. He has things that he's not declaring. And him rub him out about things that people are not declaring. And him sending Dayton Campbell down at Eastern Westmoreland to go drive up and down their people in their people them place, the people them underage pick them, eating Kentucky and eating coleslaw out of you know what. Huh? That's what I do. Somebody told me today that the PMP saying, oh, Andrew Hollis, I roll up and down and I beg vote. And then the person opined and said, what is wrong with them? Them know said that happen. Andrew Hollis is doing the right thing. Roll up and down and beg people to vote for you. That is how it works. That is how it works. You go up and beg people to vote for you. And Una ridicule because Una think that them vex enough that them going to come and vote for Una. Well, I'm here for telling you this, truly. We're in for a rude awakening. Because I believe, based on what I see out there and what I hear from people, I believe that this time around, the Jamaican people are the power under their plan. And you, Mark Golan, we have much, much more to reveal. as soon as we get some clearance from some place to release some other things, we're going to go to work, and we will let the people know. Thank you very much for joining us, Michelle and I. Michelle was saying I told the whole thing, and somebody texted me and said, Michelle, I behave like she alone did the research. So Michelle, you need to apologize to the rest of the researchers and let them know that you never meant that, because they might hype up them bad about it.
Well, let's talk about the part where me do.
Okay.
Then
So
probably the
that is
confirmation too.
okay.
Yeah, so yeah, we.
Yeah, you need to apologize to them. So
I apologize.
so thank you all for joining us. We hope that you learned something from this. That's what it was intended for. I doubt there'll be a next live before Christmas. So in case there is not, I want to wish you all the best in the upcoming season. I implore you all to stay safe and stay good, and
Keep the
keep the children
children safe.
safe. God bless you all. Good night.
Night.